Bell gets off the line well from pole position, still leads the way. Ryan Hunter in second, Left for Dead in third, Oxchillo in fourth, and now as they burst out of turns 1 and turns 2, Joshua Rimmer and Frosty also coming together. Geordie Slater as well going down the inside here of Ryan Cox, makes his way through towards turn 3. They're going to run wheel to wheel on the escape now through towards turn 4, still together. The Aston Martin trying to fight back, but Ryan Cox defiant against here Geordie Slater, but he's coming straight back at him again. They've been wheel to wheel right through the first sector. A stellar display from 2 drivers, but they're all spinning at the back. Incredible moment here at the race start, Scotty. Already we have seen some pit stops as well, clicks coming in, Rapid Relics, as well as we now see SVT 1.5 now coming under pressure from Jordan Arnold, who very swiftly dispatches SVYT, and that is exactly what he needs to do. He needs to get himself higher and higher as we see a move for the lead. Ryan Hunter immediately now tagging Ryan Bell and the Red Bull ahead of the AlphaTauri. So we'll sit back. Jordan Arnold up 7 spots now as he gets the move done on Eakin. So Jordan Arnold making those soft tyres and wanting to get up this field quickly early on. He locked up the tyres coming through turn 3 though, but it didn't upset his move. Managed to get it done on Ecamm, and will now look to try and close the gap between he and Frosty, but it's 1.8 seconds. Needs to try and get back to within DRS. Roscoe though obtaining a 3-second time penalty. It just has not gone to plan for him. Neither has it gone to plan for the likes of Seb, Joshua Rimmer, Clicks or Rapid Relics, who have all had to box. In comes Ecamm now straight away, who looks to try and challenge through the very unorthodox left and right, and oh no, that's Jordan Arnold rounded in the wall. And on the soft tyres, as we see another turn up for the lead up at the front end. We got Left for Dead as well, looking up the inside of Ryan Hunter. It's starting to kick up a notch here. Tensions furious here at this stage, certainly with the very early goings. Very rarely do we see it happen in the opening stint of the race where moves to the lead are recurring. Now going at it, heading down the straight, and you can enter Ecamm into the fight as well. Ecamm going for a double in towards turn 1. Really left it late, had a really late look late in the day. As I said, the hard tyre, not a bad race tyre, as SVT also looks to challenge as well. Takes the wide line, heading through towards turn 3, is forced to back out of it somewhat as checkered flag goes ultimately defensive coming through turn 4, and unfortunately for SVYT, unable to get the move done. Side Yusuf and Ecamm this battle, and we're going to go 3 wide into turn 11. Checkered flag down the inside of one car, but Ecamm just holds it. We're all still cleanly through. Great battling with this group, but they've just lost another couple of seconds to that top pack, so the battling's been great, but they're just losing hand over fist to the top group. Yeah, and SVYT losing his end plate off his front wing and is forced to come into the pit, so that's unfortunate for him. We have got now them all clubbing together up at the front end. It may still be Ryan Bell at the head of the order, but Ryan Hunter still closing him down as they head through the very fast left and right, and the Red Bull now screams around the outside of the AlphaTauri, and Ryan Hunter takes the lead of the race as they venture through turns 11 and 12. They've got Ascari coming up. Ryan Bell now reduced to second, but he might get a chance to stand back, heading through with DRS, chooses not to, remains in P2. That they're a little bit quicker than this group. Do they decide to maybe stay out a little bit longer? They might lose track position, but they'll have much fresher tyres. As we got close with Ryan Cox trying to go down the inside of Oxchillo, that got close onto the grass, but has the inside line. Can he make it stick? Ferrari versus Aston, and it's still side by side coming around turn 12 now. And unfortunately, Ryan Cox doesn't get the position, as Geordie Slater trying to maybe see if there was a move there. Ryan Cox is actually in, so both AlphaTauris, both Astons doing the undercut. So both Ferraris are staying out along with Ryan Hunter. Yeah, so there we have it. That is the response to Ryan Bell, who's going wheel to wheel with Noodles as well. So the undercut has gained massively in this stage, because we know that Ryan Cox is yet to even get into his pit bay. A great call, could be a genius call for the race spec cars, as now Al Karudin once again takes the fastest lap of the race. Both AlphaTauris down, bursting through turns 1 and 2. There is Ryan Cox and Gregory Prisbill, I should say, in the background. So AlphaTauri have pulled a sensational undercut here, but they need to get past this traffic ASAP, Scotty. Yeah, they're got through fairly cleanly at the moment, cleaner than what I thought they would have been, just using the extra grip on those medium tyres. And you can see right behind Yusuf is Ryan Bell, so should have the perch off of turn 6, turn 7. You can just see how wide, how slippery Yusuf was off the corner, and already side by side.
So this undercut definitely has worked because they managed to get past the traffic a lot quicker than what I thought. And now only has one car that won't have DRS. So Ryan Bell should clear this car at turn 11 and have all the clear air he wants.
Yeah, he certainly will. And Al Karudin now jumping out of Roscoe as well. He's going to try and take on Yusuf Goat. His teammate Ryan Bell taking down Ecam as well for that. What looks to be 6th place out on track. A great move from Al Karudin. Heading through towards turn 13. He is dropping them like flies as they head through this next right-hander. 2 more corners to go here on lap 16. More cars coming in the pits. Geordie Slater left for dead. The first of the Ferraris to jump, as well as Ryan Hunter coming in for Red Bull as well. So that is one of the leaders coming into box, as now Al Karudin with the DRS, the straight line speed in his favour on the hard tyres. Through turn 1 he goes and blasts through to P4 out on track. And look at the clean air that Ryan Bell has now got. He is 12 seconds behind those ahead of him, and obviously when they pit he will be your race leader. He's your net leader right now. Ryan Bell will now cross the line to commence lap 17, and he'll be our race leader as well. But look at Gregory Prisbill, who has caught up with Al Karudin, and he has got 2 lap pressure tyres than the hards being adopted by Al Karudin as well. So the question is, does Al Karudin become a giant wall to protect his teammate further up? A nudge in the back there, as you can see the 2 Astons coming together with the AlphaTauri ahead of them as well. We have got a race on our hands here. It's Ryan Bell out in front, being protected by his teammate Al Karudin as they come through the next right-hander, heading out of turn 6 and 7. Once again, they'll have DRS as well coming through here at this point now, and he knows, Al Karudin, that he's going to be under threat, because here comes the Aston Martins. Gregory Prisbill and Ryan Cox, they're double teaming the AlphaTauri as they head through towards the right and left. Goodness me, Ryan Cox, he even tried for the lead, but I tell you what, he could not quite do it. Al Karudin has lost out twice, and now Ryan Hunter is closing him down.
Now, how does he play it as, look at Ryan Hunter.
Yeah, they're all
around the outside.
They're all going at it, They're wheel to wheel now, making their way through now in towards sector 2. And just look at it, the Aston and the Red Bull. Ryan Hunter forced to back off. Prisbill managing to hold on to the Tiger line as they head through in towards the next right and left again. Out of turn 6 and 7, it is still Bell out in front, but Cox is closing him down. The 2 Ryans up at the front end. Now look at a duel around Albert Park. Now once again, they'll venture through to the fast left and right, coming through turns 11 and 12. And now Cox round the outside. The bell has been tolled here for Ryan Bell as Gregory Prisbill joins him now in second place. Aston Martin in full control here at this stage, but Ryan Bell will have DRS as now he looks to try and bring on the attack. Ryan Hunter also coming into the fight as they run wheel to wheel, coming through Ascari at turn 13. It's Red Bull v AlphaTauri, but Hunter hunting him down and moves up to 3rd.
Where they want to go, as we got left for dead down the inside at turn 1 on Ryan Bell, and he gets the job done, manages to keep it within the track limits. And a bit of a wiggle, I think it was from the AlphaTauri, and that allows the other Ferrari come through as we come into turn 3. There's a little bit of contact between. And there's contact. Ox is in the wall. So at the back of the train, hopefully doesn't have wing damage. But left for dead is ahead of Ryan Bell, but that has opened up the gap to 1.2 seconds, and this may have just cost these guys a chance at the podium.
Yeah, it might well have done. Oxchillo will not be on the podium should it stay like this as well. And we've got more fighting happening further up as we go 3 wide, heading in towards the next left and right. And Ryan Bell trying to take down Geordie Slater, who gets collected into the barrier. And hopefully he hasn't got any damage either, but it's going to come straight back at Ryan Bell this time because he's got DRS. And the Mercedes ascends, goes down the inside, enter Frosty into the fight. Where on earth has he come from here at this point as well? But it's Geordie Slater who has somehow dug deep and has taken P4 away from Ryan Bell as Clicks has left the session.
Yeah, it's going to be close. You'd imagine not at turn 9. It will have to be at turn 11. Problem is he needs to get through cleanly. No, he's going to go at turn 9 down the inside. That will give him DRS. It will give him DRS to turn 11, but he has the poorer exit. But Ryan Hunter has a snap. Both drivers will be burning ERS. Does Ryan Cox defend the inside? No, he doesn't have to. Ryan Hunter has got 3 corners left to navigate. Can he get past the Aston Martin? It's going to be interesting as we go into turn 13.
Yeah, coming through the final two corners now, Ryan Cox, a tremendous spirited drive, and I must say, it's going to be a great day for flashback racing. No flashbacks required, though they'll look back on this one, I'm sure with joy, as Ryan Cox takes victory here in Australia and here in the OFI7 as well. A grandiose result for the Aston Martin represented team Flashback Racing, who have taken the team's championship. And I must say, what an event it has been. Credit to Ryan Hunter, gave it his best, started second, he finished second, but it's all down to Flashback Racing this time around. Credit to Frosty as well, who started P11, finishing in P4. But it's Ryan Cox, your winner here at Melbourne. What a performance, Scotty. It's Ryan Cox, your victor here at Melbourne, with Ryan Hunter finishing in second. Great battle towards the end. Gregory Prusbill in third, with Frosty finishing strongly in fourth. Ryan Bell in fifth, Auxilio in sixth. We then saw Geordie Slater come home in seventh despite the penalty. Al Karudin in eighth, just could not quite get going, with Left for Dead in ninth. Checkered Flag finishing in 10th. Noodles finished in 11th. We've got Yusuf Goat in 12th. We've got Seb in 13th. Ekan in 14th. Joshua Rimmer in 15th. SVYT 15 in 16th. Roscoe in 17th. Rapid Relics down in 18th. And Jordan Arnold finishing in 19th, with Clicks finishing in 20th after retiring earlier on. But there we have it, folks. What a momentous moment. What a race, first and foremost. I enjoyed every minute of that, Scotty.
Alrighty, hello and welcome everybody into OFI number 7. I am Lindsay Model and I am joined by the one, the only Jaden Oakley, or better known as J-Man, here in the commentary box for tonight's league event. We've got OFI event. We've got 3 races lined up tonight, and it is going to be an absolutely cracking one, and the drivers will be getting ready to get underway with green flags any time now. J-Man, how excited are you for this event?
Well, firstly, good evening, Lindsay. It is an absolute pleasure to be back once again for OFI event number 7. I'm absolutely privileged to be able to call this event, as are you. Welcome back once again after clearly you've Slammers enjoyed you enough to bring you back for another one. So it'll be good. We've definitely done our share of commentary together over the time, so it'll be good to really do it on a big stage here, and I'm really excited to see what happens tonight. We've got 8 leagues competing for the ultimate crown to see who is the best league in the region, and we saw an absolute ripping race last year, as many of you saw in the preview there. We had a great highlights package, and credit to Mikey, who's probably a little known creator, who put that highlights package together, whipped it up in about a day or so last minute. So it was really good to really set the tone for tonight as well. So I'm really, really pumped to see what happens tonight.
Yeah, so am I, and we've got a action-packed 3 races ahead of us, to say the least, as we'll actually take a look at the OFI7 calendar here tonight. So tonight we have the first 3 25% races. The format for tonight is a one-shot quali and 3 25% races, all of the races having a one-shot quali in between. Parc Ferme is off for these drivers, so we will see a bit of a difference when you come to the likes of top speed, pace, etc. for the races, so that's something to keep an eye on. But we start tonight with the race number 1 at Austria in the Styrian Alps. We have one of what is the most conductive races, tracks to race at on the Formula 1 calendar, always side-by-side racing at this circuit. And then we move on. We move to Qatar, which is a very high speed, very, very different Austria. It's going to be a night race under the floodlights here tonight. And then we move on to the one, the only Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps, which is just going to be an absolutely cracking race. And I would say that's a very solid lineup for the first 3. And I'll touch on this more going into event number 2. But for 4, 5, and 6, for the second Friday night next week, we have Qatar, Brazil, and then Abu Dhabi. So quite a action-packed calendar with 3 25% races back to back to back. No real separation there, but it's definitely going to be a testing format for the drivers.
Yeah, it's a really interesting format. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. It's going to be a test for the drivers. It's also going to be very entertaining for the viewer as well. Non-stop action, short races. So qualifying is made that much more important, and the pressure on this one-shot qualifying lap for each of the drivers going into each race, that is going to be so much pressure, because you know that if you don't get it right, that could be your chances over. And we may as well discuss the format. So it's 2 drivers per league, and it's actually a 3-driver lineup, and each driver must compete in at least 2 races. And yep, there you go. There's the lineup for race 1. If you want to take us through it.
Yep, so for DRS in the Red Bull, only 1 driver tonight. They will be back to a full lineup for event 2, but we have MASH in for DRS. Then for OCE in the Mercedes, we have Big Munnery and Abyss on the grid tonight. Then for VSC, we have Parzival and Zandon in the Scarlet Red Ferrari. Then for Inters, fitting green logo, green car in the Aston Martin, it's going to be Finns and Sir Joshi there in the Aston Martin. Then for Wallaby, we have Jake Attack and Jono representing the Alpine car. Then for Rapid, you have Ox Chillo and Potato. Definitely keep your eye on those 2, as well as the next lineup. Oz F1 in the V-Carb, Campbell Adams and Websy. That's a very strong lineup. And then the team that I feel like J-Man and I definitely are the closest connected with, ORL, Sauber, Keith, and Trent Newton for that lineup. We have quite a stacked grid here tonight.
Yeah, it's really good. It looks like we're just about to get started as well for that one-shot qualifying. So buckle up, everyone. It's going to get very interesting. Make sure to let your predictions be known for who do you think's going to win this evening. It's going to be an absolute cracker, that's for sure.
Yep, as here we go, the one-shot quali is underway, and for the first qualifying session of Event 1, we are going to be on board with Campbell Adams as he makes his way through Turn 1. DRS now wide open as he runs up the hill towards turn number 3. It's all about mental preparation going into this corner. Hold it tight to the left, get ready to go over the curb, get it down to 3rd gear, as we're so used to seeing. Flick steer it through the apex, but it's a bit of a scruffy run there for Campbell Adams. He ran a bit wide, had a bit of a snappy exit as well as he makes his way towards turn 4 now. Into turn 4, braking just after the 100-meter board. Get it tipped down, 3rd gear, and then power out, rounding the long right-hander of turn 5, and then to the most challenging part of the circuit, into the double left-handers. Don't invalidate your lap, and then keep it to the left-hand side towards the apex, and then hold right now towards turn number 9. Full commitment through this corner. 7th gear, goes down to 6 to keep the revs high, and then into the final corner through turn 10. Has he invalidated there, J-Man? Yes, he has. And Ox Chillo instead is going to be your pole sitter for race number 1. It's a final corner invalidation for Campbell Adams in the Styrian Alps.
And that's what the pressure does. And we were saying that that's what drivers will be fearing. One little mistake is going to cost you big time. And Campbell Adams, one of the favourites. And Oz F1 will be very, very concerned there. An early start. His teammate, though, Websy, in P2 with an awesome lap. But Campbell Adams looks set for that pole. There's a little bit of a scruffy middle part of the lap there, as we saw. But the invalidation, he managed to catch up all that time in the final sector, but then just got a little bit too eager on the final corner. So, wow, he's going to start down in P13. It was Joshi and Jono also invalidated their lap times. But yeah, with this one-shot qualifying format, we're just jumping straight into the action. There's no warm yourself into this one. We're about to start the race as well.
Yep, no collisions off restart like we've been seeing in league racing all year. It's just lone qualifying, lone one-shot. And now we're just getting it ready for the racing. The drivers have just got to put their race setups on, get their strategy all sorted and ready. But a rapid P1, P3 is the main thing that jumped out to me, as well as Websy in the Oz F1 team being in P2. So still a divider there for Rapid. Campbell will have an opportunity to catch up.
Yep, yeah, definitely. And this team battle is going to be really good to see as well. So a lot of the drivers, they're all going to be in communication together, obviously, and really working hard all the finishers will score points. So I believe it's 50 for the winner, and then onwards and downwards from there. So we'll see how that goes. Also, just while we got a little bit of a break, shout out to the Next Level Racing giveaway, which has been dropped in the chat now. Make sure to type the code. It's hashtag OFI_NLR for that one. And then that raffle will be drawn next week, I believe.
Yep, I do believe it will be after the final race at Abu Dhabi. It will be announced for all to see, as well as we have a giveaway for Velocity Setups, which is one of the new partners with OFI, but we'll get onto that later as we come towards the 5 red lights here for race 1 in OFI7. And we are underway for racing action here in Austria, and already Oxchilo is getting off to a good start here as they trundle through turn 1. Wheel to wheel go Websy and Potato. Websy just about able to hold on to that place. Abyss moving up into P4 Mash, trying to put the pressure on towards turn 3, but will Potato go for a move on Websy now? He does. It's a late lunge down the inside, late on the brakes, very bold from Potato to try and make a move here, but he's trying to make it a rapid 1-2 so they can try and control this race as they drag race towards turn 4. Potato does get into P2, moving past Websy, so Rapid definitely advantage at this stage with 1-2 on the circuit here at the first of 18 laps, but there's still another 18 laps to be ran here in Austria, so there's a lot to find out still, but that's definitely a leg up here in this one for Rapid. As further down as well, it all seems to be staying fairly single file, but Parzival just moved up past Trent Newton, and we are about to finish lap 1 here in Austria. The predicted strategies, a medium hard lap 9 to 17 pit window. That's not very specific, but now we head on to lap number 2.
Yeah, dream start for Rapid there. Potato getting that move done on Websy. Websy would have been absolutely desperate to hang on to that, but couldn't quite do it. In the meantime, he might lose another position here to Abyss, who's trying to go around his outside. Is he going to have enough room to make that pass? It's going to be tight, wheel to wheel. Inside line for Websy though, but a really good exit from Abyss, and he's going to get that DRS as well, and he sails by the V-carb there, and Websy loses another place. Not a great start for them, and also not a great start for the VSC, who are currently down in 14th and 15th. Zandon didn't get off the line very well, I noticed at the back, and Trent had a bit of it off as well. As we say that, Zandon has also had a moment there down at turn 4, so a bit of trouble for VSC early on. They've got a lot of work to do, but in the meantime, Abyss has some fiery pace to start this race off as we get towards the end of lap 2. Potato all of a sudden under the pump from Abyss here, who's going to have the DRS open and probably won't make the move down this straight. As you can see, the fastest laps all piling through now as the tyres start to kick into gear. And we'll see how we go out of turn 1. It's a good exit for Abyss. Potato's going to be fighting hard to hang on to this one, but will he have enough as Abyss to the outside again? He's going to try the same thing he did on Websy just a lap ago, and he gets alongside and takes the outside line and should get a better exit. And this is carbon copy to last time, but Potato does get a better exit. And he's going to get that slipstream from Oxchilo, who's helping him out in the team game. And he might even make a move for the lead here. He just sits away, but that's what teammates are for. Rapid hang on to that one too. Abyss not done with yet, but unfortunately he's going to have to yield that one. But really good speed from Abyss in these early stages here.
Yeah, Abyss has a lot of raw pace in F124. We've seen it several times in OFI6, as well as the leagues that he is representing, the league he is representing tonight, and also the likes of Rapid and Wallaby, where he also frequents as well on their grids in Tier 1, always finding himself battling with the likes of Potato, as a matter of fact. So these two always find themselves intertwined and interlocked at the hip, it feels like, and now they're interlocked on the big stage here in OFI7, as Abyss is going to try this now again, but Potato again with the slipstream of his teammate towards turn 3. Are they going to try and box him in again? Yes, they are. Abyss is going to try it the long way round, though. We've seen him try it a few times, but with superior grip on the exit. Potato did get the initial better traction, but now Abyss has just pulled up alongside towards turn 4. They go for the P2 in this race, and Abyss gets it done now. And now it's Potato sitting in P3 who's going to be chasing tail, but Abyss is surely going to try and make a move for the lead. But also, DRS trains have got to be considered. There's always going to be swapping for the lead at some point in this race. So it's just all going to be about picking your moment, picking your poison. When do you want to go for a move here? As that is the name of the game here in F1 24, as it looks like Websy very close behind Potato, effectively pushing him in towards turn number 9. He wants to make his claim back inside the top 3 as we head on to lap number 5 of this race. As we'll quickly take a look at the tyres. Everybody except Chandler's, Trent and Parzival are on medium tyres, so I do expect to see similar strategies from a lot of the drivers tonight out on the grid. But now Abyss is going to be sailing through into the lead of this race, and Websy's on the inside of turn number 3. Will he get 2 in 1 corner here on both of the rapid cars? He's side by side with Oxchillo on the exit. He can't get it done just yet, but towards turn 4 they go now. Websy's still not giving this one up. He has a run in towards turn 4, but he's going to settle for P3, but Abyss is your new race leader.
Yeah, Abyss, what a run there. What a start to this race it has been. He is absolutely on fire at the moment. Websy has also found his way back into this one, and Rapid, after what looked like a dream start, is now starting to just slide down a little bit, and it's OCE in the lead with Abyss, who is currently pulling away from Oxchillo as well, who's struggling to keep pace. But we'll see how we go here, because this front battle is looking spicy, and Potato makes the early move and jumps into the pits. So this is an early decision by Rapid to go for the undercut. And with a 25% race, the pit stop strategy is very different to what we usually would see in a league race. So we'll see how that goes. In the meantime, down the straight with the DRS open, Oxchillo is going to come back at Abyss. Doesn't want him to hang on to that lead for too long. He's going to go round the outside here. Just force Abyss to change his line a little bit. He defends that well, but a good exit from Oxchillo and DRS should see him take the lead back quite comfortably. Abyss isn't letting him go, but Oxchillo does get that done. Websy also pressuring around the outside. Couldn't find a way through. In the meantime, Keith and Campbell Adams having a go. Campbell Adams up 6 places in this race, and Jono and the Alpine up 9. So really good work for them too, as Campbell Adams is trying to get up there to help Websy out for the Oz F1 team.
Yeah, and Campbell, since OFI6, has gotten significantly faster, as if that was even possible. He was fighting for the championship with the likes of Gregory Prisball, Riley McKay, and Oscar King at that point in time as well. Never mind, quickly, Kesey and Finns are side by side through turn 9, and now the final corner. So it's an Inters versus ORL battle here as they head towards turn number 1. Will they slot back in single file? Yes, they will through turn 1. But yeah, Campbell definitely hotly contesting the fastest driver in the region sort of crown. And now we're going to find out who the fastest league in the region is. Well, at least on paper here with OFI7 and Campbell on an absolute charge. A lot of cars pitting early. The 2 rapid cars came into the pits. We saw Potato come in. He got the undercut on his teammate Oxchillo. And I think they might actually be trying to cover from the likes of Campbell Adams in the V-Carb. I think that's mainly who they're worried about alongside Websy.
Yeah, smart play from Rapid there, just to get that position with Potato and also Oxchillo ahead of Abyss. So that's the net lead of the race down there in P9. As in the meantime, Jono and Websy looks like they're going to dart into the pits here, as most of the drivers. And there you go. So anyone stayed out? I think Campbell Adams is going for another run here, so he's going to have a crack at going longer and then using that pace later on in the race. So we'll see how he can have a say on this race, because we know he's never out of this, and it should be really good to see. But the 2 teammates now, 2 rapid teammates going down the main straight towards turn 1 with Abyss closely following, and it's going to require a lot of teamwork here. Abyss has already passed both of these cars during the race, so we'll see if he can provide some similar action here on lap 8 of 18. And this race is absolutely flying by. If you blink, you're going to miss it. And Oxchillo goes back past Potato to reclaim that position on the fresher tyres. So will that one lap make much of a difference for Potato when it comes to defending from Abyss here? He's got a pretty good run and a good slipstream from Oxchillo, which is going to give him the advantage for now. But those 3 seem to be the runaway leaders, as Websy is getting overtaken by Jono in the background. Also, Mash is right there and very close alongside, but Websy has lost a place to Jono for the Wallaby team, who are actually doing pretty well, as Chandler's makes up a place on Mash, who ran wide. So don't count Wallaby out either. They're looking pretty solid, as a few others are now finally coming into the pits.
Yeah, and the strategy is going to be important here. in these 25% races. The undercut is so powerful, as now we're going to see that, I think, in full effect as Campbell Adams is making his way towards the pit exit line. And now there's racing towards turn 1 between Potato and Parzival. They're getting all intertwined here at turn 1. And where has Campbell Adams came out and all of that? He came out of the pit lane in P6 provisionally, but not too far off the back of the likes of Oxchillo, Potato, and Abyss. So he's right there. The overcut has worked for him, relatively speaking, here in Austria, but he is a little bit off the back, but he also has fresher tyres, so that's what the overcut's all about. It's risky to try the overcut, but it's also risky to try the undercut because of the fact that you will have worse tyres towards the end. There's several factors that go into it, and it's just all exacerbated. I can't speak. It's all exaggerated. I'm going to change words. There we go. Here in a 25% race, when everything just happens so much quicker.
Yeah, Campbell Adams as well. That was an incredible in-lap to be able to jump Websy there, and he knows he can use his speed. Not many drivers in the field will be able to pull off an overcut, especially at Austria, so Campbell Adams really using his strengths there, and he's right in the mix. Make no mistake about it. Look how close he is to those leaders as he makes the move past Parzival. And we'll go to those leaders again here because this battle is getting really, really spicy. The two rapid drivers working in tandem to make a strategic pass once again. Potato gets that place, and Abyss again is going to be stuck behind, and he's got to watch out for Campbell Adams, who's only 2 seconds back in this case as well, but Abyss flying down the straight still will not be enough at this stage, and we hold stations behind as well. But the two Oz F1 drivers, Campbell Adams and Websy, P5 and 6, they are coming for this leading pack, make no mistake about it. This could be very interesting as we get towards the final few laps.
Yeah, 8 laps to go. These 25% races absolutely fly by, and it's part of the beauty of this format. It is going to be absolutely all out, and we do have driver changes that we will touch on later between the races as well, just to make it all that more exciting for everybody involved. But Abyss is now sitting well and truly up the back of Oxchillo and Potato. Joshy still needs to pit in P1, so this is the battle for P1 in this race. This is the battle for the race victory in race number 1 as they head towards turn number 3. Abyss thought about making it 3 wide, but he does get past Potato. Oxchillo just about able to hold onto it, but now without the DRS and Abyss hounding behind, surely Abyss will take the provisional lead of this race again, like he did earlier on in this race towards turn 4. Actually, I think he's deciding to sit behind, just play the patient game that will be to his benefit later on in this race. He's just got to make sure that Potato doesn't get involved too much while he is sitting behind. But who is nearly here are the two Oz F1 drivers, Campbell Adams and Websy, only a 10th away from DRS range. And with all the battling, all the squabbling here for the provisional lead of this race, they'll catch up in no time. And there it is. There's the 1 second. He just needs 400ths of a second into the detection. I don't think he's going to get it this time, but maybe towards turn number 1. He should get it. He's well within now, and the Oz F1 drivers have arrived, as well as all the cars behind them as well.
Yeah, and the Oz F1 drivers have brought a school of cars with them, as both the Wallaby drivers and Finns from Inters are there as well. But here we go for the provisional lead of the race. Abyss has got that job done. Oxchillo is going to stay there and going to try and take this position back. Abyss clearly has the speed. The rapid drivers have got to figure out a way to stop him now, and we'll see what Oxchillo does. It doesn't look like he's going to push to overtake here. He's just going to stay nice and close, doesn't want to make a mistake, which will give him an opportunity later on. But we know with Abyss's speed, Oxchillo's got his work cut out for him to keep him within striking distance. So this is going to be a really crucial half a lap here, as look at the DRS train that has arrived in this leading pack. It's now all the top 10 within a second of one another, as Joshy now comes into the pits finally to make that tyre change. But going up the main straight here, it's going to be quite interesting with a few laps to go. How is Oxchillo going to play this? Is he going to go for the move? Abyss looking resigned to that fact at this stage, but what is Potato going to do as well? We've got to consider that as they go up past turn 1. Oxchillo with the DRS should be able to make this move pretty easily, and Rapid retakes P1 for now, and Abyss just slots in behind. So it's all strategic from here, as Campbell Adams as well is going after Potato. He's going for the podium and he gets through. Does Campbell Adams, so watch out. Oxchillo and Abyss are going to be very nervously watching in their wing mirrors for Campbell Adams, who is absolutely flying, and around the outside goes Websy on Potato. There's a little bit of bumping there. Websy just stays on the track, doesn't get the position, and he stays in P5. But OzF1 all of a sudden coming home like a ton of bricks on these leaders at the moment. This is going to be a great finish.
Yeah, Campbell invalidated his qualifying lap. That's been the talking point, but now when it really matters, he's more than arrived. He's inside the top 3, hunting for the race victory. 5 laps to go here in Austria, and it's such a close field. We have a train all the way down to P9 as Mash picks up a 3-second time penalty at the end of that train. He's about to lose the DRS, but still, 8-car train here in Austria. 4 laps to go. Anything can happen. It could be anybody's win, but the favourites are the people who are fighting in the top 3 as Abyss moves up into the race lead once again, and Potato is defending from Websy at turn 3 on the exit. He nearly spun here last lap, but now with the DRS wide open, he has more than enough grip this time around, but Websy isn't going to give that one up so easily towards the braking zone. No, he is just going to stay behind as Finn's trying the long way around to Jono, but he just brakes way too deep. Falls away from the corner. Jono gets the place, and now Chandler's in the other car for Wallaby is trying to get the place into P3. Wallaby could be a dark horse here at the back end of this race. If they end up together as a team here with only a couple laps to go, they could try work their way through, but it's no easy feat with Abyss, Oxchillo, Campbell Adams, Potato and Websy sitting in front of them, and that battle is about to resume as well as we head on to lap number 15 of lap number 8 of 18 laps. I can't speak.
Here we go. This is absolutely fantastic action, and you never know. It's so tight here. The cars could find their way picking up the pieces here and get a really good result. So those Wallaby drivers are definitely right in it as well as we fly down to turn 3. Abyss hugging the outside there. I think he was trying to tempt Oxchillo into a move there. Thought better of it. Some smart driving as here we go again between Websy and Potato. This is a really important position because Websy's now gotten that P4 and Oxchillo is going to try and go for the lead, but just stays there for now. And going really late was Websy. He needed to defend from Potato and now almost wheel to wheel with his teammate Campbell Adams. Potato knew how important that position was because now Oxchillo stranded up in P2 without any help, and he's got 2 OzF1 drivers behind him that are going to be absolutely desperate to get through with 3 laps to go now. This is going to be absolutely fantastic to watch with Abyss still hanging onto that lead. Oxchillo stalking though, and Campbell Adams is the ever threat looming behind the both of them.
Yep, this is absolutely fantastic stuff here as we head on to lap number 16 of 18 laps to, in this race, and already Oxchillo is going to try and mount the charge once again here as we make the run towards the penultimate lap of this race here on lap number 16, and nearly Campbell Adams getting involved. In fact, he is going to get involved. He's nearly alongside Abyss there through turn number 3 as they're going to be drag racing all towards turn number 4. Websy as well sees an opportunity to get a nose in as well as Potato, and Jono's arrived on the scene as well, and the battle for the lead is well and truly on here as Oxchillo tries to switch back on Abyss. Can't get it done, as well as in the background as well. Potato's alongside Jono through turn 5 towards turn 6 as well. Chandler's and Finn's are side by side through the high speed double left-handers. They're still wheel to wheel. Finn's just able to hold on, but now it's Abyss from Oxchillo, from Campbell Adams, from Websy, Jono and Potato inside your top 6 as Websy really just is absolutely going for it, as well as all the others, but Websy definitely being the most committed of the lot, and Jono as well is seeking an opportunity to try and sneak his way onto the podium places as we are on the penultimate lap of this race.
Take a photo of that into turn 4. 8 cars separated by about 50 metres, I reckon. It does not get any better than this, and there's plenty of wheel-to-wheel action out the back as well. They're 3 wide are Finn's, Potato and Chandler's. Potato all of a sudden as Campbell Adams is trying to go around the outside of both Abyss and Oxchillo and going to try and take the lead of this race here with the DRS open, and Campbell Adams has picked his time. He's gone now, and he's going to try and make his run for the win here. Oxchillo has the inside line. Is he going to go for it? Not quite. The Mercedes of Abyss had a look down the inside, but thought better of it because now Websy is right in the mix, and Abyss down to P4 all of a sudden as Campbell Adams still holds that lead through turn 5 and turn 6, and Oxchillo just has to settle behind, but he's got Websy very close behind, and just look at all these drivers that are absolutely desperate to find their way through as we have a lap and a half to go in this one. Campbell Adams leading it. Can he hang on? It's 3/10 going to the final lap. He is going to push like absolute mad here as Oxchillo goes off the track trying to find all the pace he can conjure as we enter the last lap of race 1 here in OFI Event 7 with Campbell Adams leading the way as we go down towards turn 3. Campbell Adams defending, Oxchillo attacking, and plenty going on behind as well with Abyss and Websy. Oxchillo goes and takes the lead, and Websy has a look down the inside of his teammate as well. Could that have impacted Campbell Adams' run here? He's got DRS. He's absolutely flying. Is Campbell Adams, is he going to go to the inside or the outside? It's the inside he goes. He dives late. Oxchillo gives him no space. Who's going to come out on top there wheel to wheel? Campbell Adams has taken the position, and Oxchillo is going to come back down the inside and tries to hang it out, but he can't. Campbell Adams, incredible driving to hang onto the lead there. Websy has P3 as well, and it looks like Campbell Adams has gotten this job done. He invalidated his lap in qualifying, but Oxchillo is still there, and we're going to go wheel to wheel into the final corner. There's contact. Oxchillo, who has the lead? Campbell Adams with a snap, and Oxchillo has got it, has he? Yes, he has! Only just Campbell Adams by 0.076 of a second. Campbell Adams, Jono for Wallaby got it on the podium, and Websy's dropped all the way down to P8 in all of that drama. But Oxchillo, it looked gone for him. Campbell Adams, I thought he had the job done. An incredible drive. But Oxchillo has taken the win in Event 1. What a finish.
Unbelievable, I think, is the only word to describe that. Only a few tenths separating the entire top 6. I'm not sure what happened to Potato there on the back end, as well as Websy dropping to P8. But what an absolutely sensational finish to race number 1 of OFI7. We'll run through the full final order in a moment's time, but that was absolutely fantastic stuff. I was like you, J-Man. I thought Campbell had gotten it done, but Oxchillo was not going down without a fight, and he takes first punch here for Rapid, and that is absolutely incredible stuff, as there is the podium, but we'll move on, and we'll move to the final race results. So it's Oxchillo from Campbell Adams, 700 separate the two, but Campbell Adams from 13th on the grid, and Jono gets P3, might I add, from 15th on the grid. That is absolutely incredible driving from the two of those drivers, and Finns from P10 gets P4 as well, as Abyss gets P5, Chandler's gets P6, Potato gets P7, and Websy gets P8, and then Joshy and Mash round out your top 10. Then you have Kesey, Apollo Pepsi, Trent Newton, Parzival, and Zandon rounding out your grid. That was one hell of a race.
What in the world did we just watch? That was one of the best displays of racing I've seen, potentially on this game, actually. Like 3 seconds separating the top 8. We saw in those last couple of laps there, they were all so unbelievably close, and we had no idea who was going to win right to the end there. I was ready to call a Campbell Adams win. That looked unbelievable. It looked like he had it in the bag. 13th that he started, invalidating his qualifying lap, and he looked like he was going to take home an unbelievable victory. If he had got that win, that would be one of the greatest drives in OFI history, but denied by Oxchillo and the Rapid team, and it all ended up coming crashing down for Oz F1 in the end there. It looked like they had a double podium on, but P2 and P8 they'll have to settle for, and I think that would leave Rapid in the lead after that.
I do believe so, yeah, but there is also, 5 points? It's 50 and 45 between 1 and 2. I think it all depends on 7 and 8 as well. I'm not sure what the gap is there, but it's very close still as we head into the second and third races. Definitely Rapid and Oz F1 showing they are the two favourites going into this event. Potentially Wallaby, a bit of a dark horse, as we'll now move on to the changes for race 2. So for Oz F1, we have Yusuf subbing in for Websy. That's a big change. Yusuf also very, very quick here in F1 24. And then for ORL, you have Keithy subbing out for Piastri in the RL team. Then Wallaby Viper is going to be jumping in for Jono, and for OCE, we're going to have a bit of a shuffle around. Apollo Pepsi will be jumping into the Mercedes car. Then you have Joshi jumping out for Meowsy for Inters. So a good couple of changes there as we head into race number 2, and we will be at Qatar.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I think a couple of those drivers will be like, "Oh, why have you subbed me out?" Like the adrenaline's pumping. Like Websy, for example, Jono just getting that P3. But the rule is that every driver, all 3 drivers, must be in at least 2 races. So you have to make those subs strategically, and a few of the leagues have done so already. So we'll see how that goes. But race 2, there's going to be a few people racing very hard, because that was an intense finish. And I think we'll see a few of those drivers are competing up the top again in Qatar as well.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely bang on there. I think we're going to see a consistent theme throughout race number 2 and 3. And for the rest of the event, I think we will see favourites start to emerge. Not completely, though. There are always dark horses, especially when it comes to an event like this, with the way DRS is on F124 as well. It is going to be really, really close, I think, in this championship. And I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see how it's all going to go. But even once we have race 3 done and dusted, which we're not even near yet, there's still a whole other 3 races to go, which is just going to be absolutely incredible to watch. I think it's going to come down to the absolute wire. And in a way as well, OFI7's acting as a farewell to what has been an F1 game of all time, to put it lightly here. For F124, it's very well at the end of the game cycle. We're only a couple days away, 2 weeks away from the launch of F125. So this is really it. This is everything these drivers have learnt and accumulated over the course of this game cycle. It all comes down to this here in OFI7.
Yeah, F124, definitely one of the games of all time. I think it's had its moments. OFI events have been quite good this year, and it's mainly accredited to the drivers, obviously, who are just extremely talented, and it's fantastic to be able to watch them battle it out. And it's I hope everyone's entertained at the moment, because this is just action everywhere you look, and that's what has been clearly a positive out of this new format, is just tight racing all the way to the end. We don't have any long unnecessary DRS trains. It's just every lap is absolutely critical in terms of strategy. And yeah, so make sure to put your code in as well for Next Level Racing giveaway. It should be popping up pretty regularly in the chat. So make sure you get that done. And yeah, so a few of the big contenders that have emerged out of that race, Lindsay, Rapid, absolutely. OCE, Wallaby, Oz F1. What are you thinking so far?
I'm thinking that Oz F1 and Rapid are the favourites. OCE have Abyss is kind of their ace in a sense. I think that he is definitely the quickest driver in the OCE pairing, at least from what we've seen at Austria, and he is also in the OCE championship fight as well in the league he's representing. So I think that speaks volumes as to his pace. But I think that, yeah, Oz F1 and Rapid, they're interchangeable. I think it depends on how Yusuf goes, as well as we have Ryan for event 2 as well. So I think there's a lot of unknowns in that regard. But I think if I had to put a top 2 there, it will be Rapid and Oz F1.
Yep, so we're about to get the one-shot qualifying started once again. Who's going to be a victim this time, Lindsay? Campbell Adams invalidated under the pressure of being the man on stream. So who are we gonna burden with that this
time? I think that the driver I'm gonna pick to go with will be one of the Rapid cars. I think Oxchillo. Why not? When
the reigning winner.
Yeah, the reigning winner. Let's go for it. Let's see if we can get a full onboard lap. with Oxchillo, the rapid driver, in the Williams tonight, here in Qatar, under the lights, as we're about to kick off this one-shot quali. It's just the game sorting itself out in this very moment. As it's taking its time to load. I'll tell you what, I thought we were about to go because the timer hit 0. Maybe not. But yeah, drivers will just be sorting out their setups and seeing how it's all going to go. There we go. The timer's back again. So F1 24, ladies and gentlemen. But J-Man, if you had to make a prediction for pole here in Qatar, who would it be?
I don't think Campbell Adams is going to make the same mistake again here. So I reckon he could be a smoky. He'll be absolutely firing after the end of that last race. But the pressure is very high on this qualifying lap. So we'll see what happens here. And you can take us away for the second one-shot quali.
Yep, as I've just got to find Oxchillo. There he is. Okay. So let's just get everything, all that good stuff up. And now for a lap of Qatar. So this circuit, 16 corners, 5.419 kilometers. And now Oxchillo is going to descend into turn 1, making his way through turn 1, a very high speed circuit this as he makes his way through turn number 2, completely on rails there, but a little bit wide there. I think at turn 2, probably more wide than he would like. This is full commitment, this to end the first sector. These double rights completely flat through the second one, maybe just a little bit of a safety lift here in a one-shot qualifying. And then third gear, late apex, the hairpin, and Oxchillo's had a massive tank slapper, and he falls down into P9, but he still has a sector to go, 2 sectors to go effectively here in Qatar. But I think the onboard curse is well and truly firing at all cylinders at the moment, as down to 4th gear he goes. A little bit wide again there, but just about getting to the inside white line at the apex. Now into the 3rd sector. This entire sector is pretty much entirely flat out, so it's going to be hard for him to make up time here. The final corner is going to be the big one as he completely steamrolls these corners, foot flat to the floor through this one as well. 7th gear, keep it inside the track limits, and now the run towards the final corner, braking just after the 50 board, get it over the inside curb, and actually it's a good recovery there from what was a big tank slapper out of the hairpin. Oxchillo is going to go P4, and Yusuf, the driver who's just subbed in for race number 2, is going to be your pole sitter for Oz F1.
Wow, what an effort there from Yusuf. I tell you what, that was one thing I was a bit worried about. The drivers subbing in, how they're going to go compared to the guys that have already done a qualifying and a full race. But Yusuf has stepped in the car and said, let me handle this one, lads. And he's taken pole by a pretty comfortable margin there. Campbell Adams will be happy to be back in P2. Probably a bit of a safer lap, just making sure he gets the job done. And then Viper in P3 as well. So he didn't race in the last one either. So he's come straight into the car, and he's done pretty well. I guess these drivers would have been practicing Qatar throughout that whole first race though. So that's probably something that might have helped them a little bit.
Yeah, I think that they would have been practicing up until the last possible moment, basically. I think that it is going to be quite a close race. So we've got drivers that are warmed up to the racing atmosphere here for race number 2, and then drivers that are just super subbing in, Nico Hulkenberg style, one could argue, from 2020. But it's just all about pressure, I think. How well can you handle subbing into the biggest event in the region, the live stage, where it all happens, and can you perform on a moment's notice?
Yeah, it's really tough. I definitely wouldn't be able to handle this kind of pressure. I feel it just in a normal qualifying lap, and I'm battling for P15 or whatever. Well, I can't imagine trying to put one single lap together. One mistake costs you possibly your entire race. So the fact that Campbell Adams was able to go from P13 to P2 there is still baffles me. How he was able to do that. He's definitely showing he's a absolute front runner for this championship, but it is a league event, so it's all about the team. Oz F1, P1 and P2 trying to make amends for the mishaps of last race, you can say. And I believe someone mentioned in the chat before, Webbsy actually got a 3-second penalty right at the end, and that's why he dropped all the way down to P8. So it wasn't actually him falling out, which makes sense because I didn't see that. So yeah, Webbsy just a little mistake there, and that's cost him quite a few positions.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I stressed to the ORL drivers before we went in, because obviously we're effectively their league representation, I said don't get a track limits penalty, and definitely shows that really hurt Websy. Fell pretty far down the order, and Qatar is even worse for it. There are track limits violations every single corner at this circuit almost. It's all about the drivers to keep it on the track, and I think that outside of pure pace, something that could give you a really good result here in Qatar will be 100% your ability to keep it on the racing surface, on the tarmac and inside the white lines.
Yep, as we are nearly ready to go, and it'll be a short one, but as you said, track limits are essential in this race. We're definitely going to see a couple, and it might hurt a couple of the drivers here, but it is going to be Yusuf on pole, followed by Campbell Adams and then Viper. And here we go, as we begin race 2 of OFI. Oz F1 locked out the front row, and we are underway for race 2, and it's a pretty good start for Yusuf right away. Campbell Adams just slotting in behind nicely. No inter-team battle there, and holding on to P3 is Viper. Oxchillo having a run down the inside though, trying to take that P3 right away, and last race winner is already up into the podium places and threatening to pass those Oz F1 drivers as the two Wallabies settle into P4 and 5. But Potato trying to go around the outside as well. The rapid drivers moving onwards and upwards here early on in this race, but it's very tight as all the drivers have gotten through pretty neatly here. The two Ferraris battling out the back as well as Apollo Pepsi makes a move on Fins, but it's all safe and sound through the first few corners. Campbell Adams just hanging behind Yusuf for the moment, and Oz F1 hanging on to that 1-2 as we make our way through the first lap.
Yep, and Potato and Oxchillo trying to make moves here for Rapid. Oxchillo already sitting at the edge of the top 3. He won't be too worried. He'll have DRS to try and make moves later on, and Qatar really only has one major overtaking zone, and it is the DRS straight. So he'll know that. Potato will know that. But Potato sitting in P5, maybe not where he'd want to be at this exact moment. He'd want to be further up right next to his teammate in tandem to try and make it work better for him, especially when he's going to have Chandlers and Abyss and Jammy sitting in behind trying to attack. But here we go on to lap number 2 of this race. It's the second lap of 14 here under the lights, and Campbell, even without the DRS, is already trying to make moves, and Oxchillo thought about trying to get a nose in there as well, as he's going to be boxed in by the two Oz F1 drivers, and now Viper fancies an opportunity to try and get through here as well. He's on the outside of Oxchillo, and Oxchillo just holding the place that he got on lap number 1. Crucially here, a lot of these drivers starting on medium tyres, a couple on softs though. I do believe the soft runners might be looking to pit very, very early on. And when I say early, I think they'll be pitting from lap number 2 to lap number 4 in the grand scheme of things here. If I had to make a strategy guess, I think that will be a very bold strategy starting on the soft compound tyres. Tyre wear is high here in Qatar, and it is really evident as to why. High speed, high load, everything you could ask for at this circuit. It's all made to kill tyres.
Yeah, the old 25% strategy, 25% race strategy, pit straight away and then undercut everyone and just hold on for dear life. So we'll see if anyone's going to have a go at that in the next lap or so. But in the meantime, Oxchillo will want to get past Yusuf quickly here because Campbell has taken that lead of the race. And if no one can stay in touch with him, he is just going to absolutely sail down the road, as we've seen him do countless times across all the leagues that are involved in this race tonight. As here we go now, the DRS open for the first time in this race. Is Yusuf going to make a move on his teammate? He's going to get close, but he's going to stay behind, just defend Oxchillo. And in the meantime, Chandlers and Abyss having a close little battle, but Abyss ran a bit deep into the corner and has just lost a bit of time there, but has been able to catch back up pretty nicely. The whole field is pretty much a DRS train at the moment, and no one able to get past as of yet. Not too many overtaking opportunities through this part of the circuit. So drivers just holding station for now. No one has thought about coming into the pits yet. As in the meantime, Oxchillo is battling with Yusuf and trying to go round the outside. He got very close there, did Oxchillo, but no, not quite, as Zandon's had a spin there out the back. And Campbell Adams still hanging on to that lead, trying to pull away. But Oxchillo and Yusuf still hanging around there.
Yeah, and this battle will continue throughout this entire race as they head through the flat-out sector. I think that final lap, this can definitely cause some carnage, this sector, but we can see that P1 down to P13, all still within DRS range. Sitting in the train is crucial at this circuit, and a lot of drivers can stay within it. I think you can have a pretty big pace deficit to the car in front of you and still manage to stay in because of this right here, the straight. Every time you enter a new lap, you open the DRS, it is just fully flat out, and you gain a lot of time. But here we go, the move for P2 and P3 as Viper's trying to get involved, as Oxchilo's actually been forced defensive at turn 1. He wasn't able to attack Yusuf, but Viper was able to attack him, and now Viper for Wallaby in the Alpine moves into P3, and now it's Rapid 4 and 5, but crucially for this championship, it's an OzF1 1-2 at the moment.
Yeah, they are absolutely flying as they were in qualifying, still hanging on to those positions, and they're looking pretty comfortable in their defense, whereas Rapid were coming under an absolute pile of pressure from these OzF1 drivers, as well as Abyss, who seems to be struggling a little bit more on this track. Maybe Austria was a specialty of his, but we'll see if he can make his way through. There is obviously a lot of DRS train frustration that's going on for that midfield, which is a bit worse here than it is in Austria. So drivers are going to have to get creative here. But Viper's done very well to get into that P3, and Wallaby just been quietly performing well here in these first two races. Nothing flashy about their performance so far, but just getting the job done. And now Viper is having a look at Yusuf, and he's gaining on him as well. And Oxchillo not quite as close to Viper as Viper is to Yusuf. So DRS open. He's going to push hard. There's a couple of drivers coming to the pits. It's Potato, Apollo, Pepsi, and Mash. And here we go. Yusuf making a move for the lead. And is Viper going to try follow him through? He is. He gets down the inside. Campbell Adams trying to take the long way round in defense. And a really good exit there for the OzF1 driver has seen him hold on to second place. But Yusuf started on pole, takes back that position on lap 5 out of 14. Viper still extremely close to Campbell Adams, but OzF1 here, they're coming under a little bit more heat, and can they hold their nerve? They weren't able to in the last race, but a 1-2 would make a huge difference here to the championship.
Yeah, it really would. It would sway it well in one direction, but obviously another race to go tonight at Spa, as that's Apollo Pepsi spun around for OCE. That's really not good for their championship aspirations here in this OFI7. But again, as I was saying, there's a long way to go. There's another race tonight. There's still the rest of this race, and then you have 3 more races after that for the second event of the 2, as Apollo Pepsi picks up a 3-second time penalty to boot here in this race. So already a spin, and to add insult to injury, now he has a penalty. But crucially, Potato trying the mass undercut here. Will anybody respond? Yes, Yusuf does respond, and Oxchillo also coming in to try not be undercut too much. The undercut is powerful here around Qatar. It's powerful on everything, every track on F124, but it's really powerful at a track like Qatar. But in tandem as well, at the end of the race, you will have no tyres left, as we'll now take a look. A lot of drivers into the pits. Yusuf, Trent, Oxchillo, Abyss, Finns, and Zandon all in the pits. We'll take a look at their tyres. They've all gone to hards except Potato, who can trust himself to go medium tyres, as well as Oxchillo. So the Rapid drivers maybe know something that we don't here in Qatar. They think they can get mediums to go to the end. Definitely going to be risking it on tyre life. Abyss decided to go for the hards, as well as a lot of the other drivers that pitted. The tyre wears high. That could play a crucial factor later on in this race, as Yusuf is side by side with Potato. Potato might have played this undercut to absolute perfection here, and he has. He gets the move done on Yusuf with the undercut strategy. That's played well into his hands, but will it play well later on in this race?
That was an absolutely huge undercut from Potato there. He was quite a few positions back, so just shows the difference that Clear Air has made in comparison to this DRS train. And it's going to be interesting to see where these guys come out when they all pit, because you anticipate they will all do so now, led by Campbell Adams, as we're about to hit the halfway mark in this race. And in they all come. Both the Wallaby drivers and McJammy Dodge all follow him in. Oscar Piastri Goat as well, a little bit further behind, is coming in. And then we got Parzival, and then that pack of Oxchillo, Potato, and Yusuf, and etc. And Campbell Adams gets that stop done neatly. And they're going to come out now as Oxchillo rounding the final corner with Potato almost over a second behind. So Oxchillo should be able to take this lead here, you would have thought. as Campbell Adams coming out now. Oh no, Campbell Adams has hung on to it. He's done very well there. A good in-lap once again from Campbell Adams. Is able to hang on, but wheel to wheel is Viper and Oxchillo, and a huge snap for Viper. They might have made some slight contact there, but that has caused him to lose out to Potato. So Viper now down at a P5, and that really hurts for the Alpine driver. And someone's also, I think it's Piastri Goat, has had a bit of a moment, falling down to P13 there, and Chandler's gets past. He's down at a P12 now, so dropped a few positions. But importantly for Rapid, they've gotten both their cars in between Campbell Adams and Yusuf, so that's a better strategic position to be in, but we know Yusuf is going to come absolutely flying back into this one.
Yeah, he's not going to give it up that easily here. We're halfway through this race at this point now, and it's all just going to be about controlling this race to the best of your ability, and having a teammate by your side while you do it is going to be absolutely crucial. Oxchillo has a rear gunner, he has Potato, but with the straight at Qatar, with the DRS zone, it could be quite difficult. And with Viper as well fighting with Yusuf, there's a lot of factors that go into this one as they head into the second stint of this race, as we have Parzival being the Joshie of this race, not pitting at least to this point here, as we head on to lap number 8. And Campbell is going to be under a little bit of pressure from Oxchillo. He's 800th behind, but Oxchillo reluctant to overtake. He was close enough to maybe try and make a late lunge, but he just wanted to sit behind and wait, as maybe potentially helping his teammate in case of attack from Viper, but Viper not close enough that time around, as they're just going to sit single file. Couple of side-by-side moments, but I think it's where Qatar really shows its nature. Not super easy to overtake, but on those final 2, 3, 4 laps, the gloves will really start to come off.
Yeah, exactly right. And Campbell Adams still fighting really hard, and it's the same battle as what we saw at the end of Austria between these two. It took a while for these two to get to the front, but it was an absolutely awesome battle. So we're about to go for round 2 here in the ring, Campbell Adams and Oxchillo. We'll see if anyone else can poke their nose in there, but these two are definitely on something different tonight, with absolutely flying along as this DRS train continues to develop, with Abyss at the back of it, and then the two Inters drivers, P8 and P9. And the reason why Chandler's fell so far back was a double stack with him and Viper, which cost him massively, especially with how tight this front pack is. So a little bit of a communication error there by the Wallaby drivers, and that could hurt them significantly in the standings as we head down to turn 1. Once again, no position changes from the front runners, but McJammy is going to get past Finns there. A position swap for Inters, who are doing respectively there in the middle of the field, P8 and P9. Not quite challenging the top leagues, but definitely best of the rest in that sense outside of that DRS train.
Yeah, and it's not a bad place to be, sitting in that mid-pack. Definitely respectable. And as well as, if you just stay consistent, if you just keep your nose clean throughout these 6 races of this championship, it definitely gives you an opportunity to finish higher in the standings than potentially your results on paper show, as others potentially make mistakes, like Wallaby, who had their double stack because of miscommunication, like you spoke about before. It's all of those tiny, tiny mistakes that could put yourself right in the driver's seat for a higher position in the championship than potentially expected. Something that could come into play now is the fact that Parzival's only 2 seconds up the road. He has not pit yet, and Campbell is coming to overtake him. So will the Ferrari come into the pits? Representing VSC, Parzival is going to come into the pits. He doesn't want to get in the way. He doesn't want to interfere here with proceedings, as Oxchillo is now once again inside the DRS of Campbell Adams here on lap 10, but this time he is going to pull out to the right-hand side, and he's going to go down the inside, as Viper's also on the inside. There's contact there. I'm not sure what happened. Now they're 3 wide and towards turn 2. They slot back in to double file, but it's absolutely all kicking off here. Oxchillo wasn't able to get it done on Campbell Adams, but Viper's trying to get 2 cars in one sector, and he's down the inside of Oxchillo, and now Viper's in in P2. That was fantastic stuff from the Wallaby driver to put himself in that position, as now Yusuf is down the inside of Abyss at the hairpin. They're going to go side by side, but Yusuf can't quite clear Abyss. But now he's back up the inside in the middle sector, and they're drag racing through this flat out section, but surely with the inside of the fast right, he gets the move. Yes, Yusuf moves up into the top 5, but Rapid just really weren't able to battle effectively there, and they lost a place for it.
Absolutely fantastic racing there, and you're right. Oxchillo just didn't look like he really wanted that. He wasn't fully committed to that move into turn 1, and that led to the contact there, because Campbell Adams was like, oh, he's not going for it, I'm just going to turn. And that led to that little moment there, which has cost Oxchillo that place. But can he rectify the situation now? Those two Rapid drivers, P3 and P4, chasing after Viper, who is going to be using all of this DRS he's getting from Campbell Adams to try and hold off Oxchillo behind. And in the meantime, Abyss is trying to make a move back past Yusuf. But here we go, down the inside goes Oxchillo. He was more committed that time. He knew that he needed to make the pass. He's still there, but Viper hangs on to the position. But that's better from Oxchillo. Still hanging around there on lap 11 of 14. It's really crunch time now. The top 3 have developed a little bit of a gap there to Potato behind, but still plenty of time in this one. Yusuf is stuck in this battle with Abyss. He wants to get involved in that leadership pack, but he just can't quite find a way through. He needs to clear Abyss here and then catch up to those Rapid cars to get a good result for OzF1. Both the cars need to be up there if they want to overturn this championship deficit, which is looking to be incredibly tight at the moment between the two favourites, as you mentioned, Rapid and OzF1.
Yep, and it's really, really going to heat up here, as you were saying, as we head into the final stage of this race. But with a car kind of shoehorned between the two teams, of Viper just sticking his nose in for Wallaby, doing really well at the moment. I think he's a bit of a surprising driver for me here. I know he has pace, but I didn't expect him to be mixing it up here with the likes of Campbell Adams, Oxchillo, Potato, Abyss, Yusuf in this top 6 area, but he's well and truly here, and he's proving to be quite the pest for Oxchillo and Potato, and now he's actually going to go for a move for the lead on Campbell Adams, and Oxchillo's trying to follow him. Oxchillo's trying to take the race lead, potentially. He did put the nose in on Viper, but he just couldn't get alongside, but Oxchillo moves into P2, so now Viper is your new race leader from Oxchillo, from Campbell Adams, from Potato. So Campbell, in the space of one straight, has lost 2 places, and it's not over just yet. Campbell trying to poke his nose in an Oxchillo any place he can. Might he try? He might try a hairpin move here in the at the end of first sector, but he just can't get alongside, and he doesn't want to send it too hard here with 2 laps to go. He knows sitting in P3 or P2 is the best place to be.
Yeah, no matter how this race ends, this has been a fantastic drive from Viper. Comes straight into the box seat, in the hot seat after one race. Everyone else has had a race, all the drivers around him, but he's just jumped in there and he's in the lead at the moment by 4/10 over Oxchillo. So can he hold his nerve all the way to the end and finish off with a podium for his home league? League pride on the line here throughout all of these races. Drivers will be battling desperately for bragging rights here to show that their league is the one in the region, the best one. As we go down the straight here and start the penultimate lap, Viper has had a really good last sector and he has pulled away from Oxchillo, but he's reeling him in quite quickly with that DRS, absolutely flying down there, and he goes to the inside. Once again, not fully committed there is Oxchillo. Campbell Adams as well is going to take the lead here, it looks like, and he gets past Viper. No, Oxchillo gets it. So Viper does lose 2 places there, and 3 places, in fact, as Potato's putting the pressure on, and it's wheel to wheel once again here, and the Alpine of Viper has the inside line just behind as well. Abyss is trying to take advantage of an opportunity, but couldn't quite do it. Is Potato going to go back down the inside? He's going to stick a nose in there, but it's just not enough. And now Abyss, once again, gets a really good exit. And he's trying to hold that line against Potato, and he's going to get that move done. So Abyss up into P4. This has been a really good few laps for the OCE driver, just quietly. Doing really well. And Oxchillo in the lead, but Campbell Adams is exactly where you want to be in P2 as we come down to the final lap and a half here of this race. Is it going to be Oxchillo, Campbell Adams, or could it be Viper?
Yeah, and that is the big question here as we head through the final sector on the penultimate lap. It is going to be a 1-lap shootout here between Oxchillo, Campbell Adams, Viper, Abyss, and Potato, maybe even Yusuf as well, sitting at the back of the train. And now the questions will be answered as we head onto the straight towards turn 1. Campbell Adams will surely take the lead of this race, but Oxchillo won't go down so easily, but he is going to concede that one. And Viper now commits down the inside on the Williams, on the Rapid driver in the Williams car through turn 2. Viper's going to be left to hang out to dry there by Oxchillo. Oxchillo knows it's pivotal for his race to at least be in P2, but with a 5/10 gap, he has to remain within the wheel tracks if he wants to try and have any slim chance of taking the race victory in race number 2 here in OFI7. But Campbell definitely looking like he should be able to solidify this victory. It's last lap between the two of them again here of Campbell Adams and Oxchillo, but this time Campbell's a lot more safe than he was in Austria, and he's broken 1 second. He's broken DRS. That is sensational pace from Campbell Adams. The medium tyres, just not the right call it seems like here in Qatar. This 25% race burning the tyres, and it's really showing. Oxchillo's been struggling to go down the inside. I think he might have been protecting his tyres, but when all the dust has settled, Campbell Adams lost out on the final lap in Austria in a drag race, but now he's going to take it by a commanding effort, and as he rounds the final corner, Campbell Adams is going to win in race 2 in OFI7. Take a bow. Oxchillo gets P2. Campbell sets the fastest lap of the race to boot in a dominant last lap display. Abyss gets a podium after all the dust has settled for OCE. Yusuf gets P4 in his first effort in OFI7, and Potato rounds out your top 5. What a race that was, but I didn't expect Campbell to just drive away like that on the final lap.
How much pace did Campbell Adams have in the tank there? That was an unbelievable performance. He saw just a little gap there, a little opportunity to pull away, and he did not wait around. He absolutely flew away. No chance Oxchillo was going to catch him. Those medium tyres were dead. And also, heartbreakingly for Wallaby, Viper picking up a 3-second on the last lap, which has sent him down to P8. And P8, P12 is definitely not a fair reflection of Wallaby's race. They've definitely had the pace and the performance to be challenging for those top positions. But unfortunately, it's just a couple little errors that have cost them big time. But the big talking point there, OzF1 finding their way back with a win there, but Yusuf didn't quite support Campbell Adams as they would have wanted there, with Yusuf starting the race on pole, finishing a little bit further down the order. So we'll see how the standings shape up after that race. I think it'll still be pretty even on points once again. But yeah, what an awesome drive from Campbell Adams there from start to finish. It just shows how dominant this man is. Even with that qualifying mishap earlier on, he is clearly been the fastest driver out there.
Yeah, he took the win and the fastest lap. On the last lap, the tyres just didn't even bother him, it seems like. He just ran away, and then Oxchillo picked up the P2, just about holding onto it. But that speaks volumes there. There's 9/10 between Campbell's fastest lap of the race and Oxchillo's fastest lap of the race. So that is just a real statement there from Campbell Adams. But Abyss picks up a podium, and Yusuf gets P4, Potato 5th. And then for Inters, a P6 and P7, not bad whatsoever. Viper, after a mistake, gets P8. And then it's Mash in P9. Then Trent and Piastri Goat for Orel getting P10 and 11. And then you have Chandler's, Apollo Pepsi, Parzival, and Zandon rounding out your race 2 results. As we'll jump back across to both of us here in the commentary box. But that was quite a race 2 if you've ever seen it. That was really close. You really couldn't call it. And then it got to the final lap of the race, and Campbell said, you know what? No, it is easy to call. I'm gone.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable that he's able to flick a switch like that and just absolutely run away with it, and just shows his quality, really. It's just been an absolutely fantastic set of races by Campbell Adams. There's one more to go for the evening. So drivers that have done both those races might be starting to feel a little bit of fatigue now. It's a long time to go full intensity, especially with how high octane these races have been. So we'll see. There might be a few more changes for the final race, I believe, as well. But in the meantime, a good little result by Inters there, P5 and P6. A very quiet race. They didn't generally get much love on the stream, but yeah, just picking up the pieces there. So pretty well driven by them. VSC unfortunately have been languishing in the first two races. ORL sort of the same. They've been lower midfield, and both those teams have had drivers in kind of similar positions in terms of pace. So that's been interesting to see. So that's sort of the lower field, and also DRS, who obviously just have the one driver in MASH, which makes things a little bit more difficult for them. But MASH is still doing his best out there, which is good to see.
Yeah, and it is difficult for DRS in that situation, but they will have 2 cars for the second of the nights next Friday, so that is good to hear. I have had that confirmed by the organizer. Just a quick shout out to Slammer, the one who brings this all together. Absolutely incredible stuff from Slammer to pull this together at the very end of the F1 game cycle. It is just absolutely incredible stuff. As we'll quickly take a look at the race 2 to 3 changes. So for Oz F1, it's saying that Websy's being subbed out for Yusuf again, but we just had Yusuf in. But Keithy will jump in for Trent Newton for ORL, and then Jono will jump back in for Viper. Those two have been the highest finishers for Wallaby so far. Then on the OCE side of things, it's Apollo Pepsi subbing out for ZK, a very quick driver, ZK. So I'll be on the edge of my seat waiting to see how he goes. He is quite quick. He hasn't had too many super strong results, but he's just there and he always has the pace. And I think that in a team event like that, that's all you can really ask for. Is J-Man, here's a question for you coming from the chat, which I thought was quite funny. Wallaby themselves asking, are you in a boardroom?
Yeah, definitely. We got the boardroom. Nice PowerPoint presentation going up on the screen as well. Just yeah, some good synergy in here, that's for sure. But yeah, that's good. Good banter by Wallaby there.
Yeah, for sure. As I thought that question might come at some point. When you're sitting with the beaming light of on the roof, just beaming down on your camera, it is. It definitely looks very boardroom style, but you can't speak much more about me. I've got a blanket covering up my seat. I've got a yellow light. It's professional quality commentary box stuff here in the OFI7 comms box. Would you believe it? We're definitely in the same room. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I lost my my suit this year. I had it on last time when I commentated the second event, but unfortunately, I'll leave that to Karma. That's kind of his thing to wear the suit to the OFI events. But yeah. Speaking of the race.
Sorry, just quickly.
What's happened?
I've just had technical difficulties. I've just been kicked out of the lobby because my game files failed to verify integrity. Oh no.
Oh no.
Lindsay cheating in 2025 confirmed?
We nearly went through a whole night without any technical issues.
Oh
but
no.
It was always going to happen, wasn't it?
I've got to restart my game. I've got online services in the lot. Anyway, in the meantime, at least my screen's not showing. We've got the lovely cameras here for OFI, as I've just been invited by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Slammer. If I can get to it.
Just while we're in the break, though, to the viewers, Lindsay has said he will answer any and all questions you have for him, no matter what they are. So just feel free to chuck them all in the chat, and he will get to them as soon as he can.
Oh no, stand-up comedy here from J-Man himself. Oh, here it comes. Sways has just put in all capitals, Lindsay. What's he about to ask? It's about to be something out. Give us a wave. I mean, I know that's going to be memes to everything, but
Slam has just sent me the standings. Sorry, so this could be.
Oh, here we go.
This could be a an interesting one. So, that is tight. So in the lead on 157 points is Oz F1. And then 5 points behind on 152 is Rapid. So 5 points the difference And then in third place, as I said, they've just been quietly getting results. Inters, who are 53 points off the lead in 108 points, but still quite a good effort. And then 5 points behind them are Wallaby in 103. And then it's OCE in 5th on 96. ORL in 6th on 58. And then DRS in 7th on 36. And in coming up the rear, VSC on 32. So 5 points the difference. Provisional standings for now, obviously. But yeah, Oz F1 just have that lead by 5 points over Rapid.
Yep, that is really, really close. I can't believe how close that has ended up. I knew it was going to be somewhere in the midst of probably within 10 points. I didn't expect 5 to be the gap, so that is pretty incredible stuff, and I think that Spa's really going to be a difference maker. Such a driver's circuit, and I think we're really going to see it, but there is also the Camel Straight and the run towards the bus stop where there have been some really, really big battles, and it does help you close back in, and the middle sector is definitely really testing with the likes of Puon and the Lefania chicane as well to end the second sector. So there's a lot going into that circuit. As we'll just take another last look at the 2 to 3 changes. So these are the drivers that are subbing in for race 3. We already have gone over the fact that the Oz F1 one is incorrect. It's not Websy in for Yusuf. I think Yusuf is just staying in, if I'm not mistaken. Then Keithy will be jumping in.
Websy's back.
Oh, no, Websy's back. So Websy subbed in for Yusuf instead.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so the graphics in reverse. And then, well, at least for Oz F1. And then Trent is subbing out for Keithy. And then Viper and Jono are swapping again. And Apollo Pepsi is subbing out for ZK. So that is all we need to look at as now we get ready for the one-shot qualifying here in Spa. And J-Man, as much as we've still got a little bit of conversation to go here, you can take away the final quali lap.
I would absolutely love to. And yeah, ZK is the only new driver, the only driver that hasn't raced tonight. So we'll see how that impacts that, because everyone else will have had 1 or 2 races under their belt, but ZK is going to be the driver who is just coming into it. Obviously, he will be doing plenty of practice, but practice versus real-time quali, real-time race is going to be a whole different beast, that's for sure, as the driver's now gearing up for quali. Who are we going to pick for the hot lap this time? We should probably pick a new driver, not Campbell and Oxchillo, even though they are the 2 race winners.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe ZK, because he's the only one that hasn't driven tonight, and has also gotta love the technical difficulties here. I've got like the game capture isn't working, so that's fantastic. I'm gonna have to swap to a display capture. Just quickly. There we go. We can see everything.
Yep.
Where is ZK?
ZK is.
Oh, he's swapping around. Oh,
there we go. So
no.
ZK through turn 1 in P5. And away we go. So through Eau Rouge now in the final one-shot quali session of the evening. And it's a good start for Oxchillo as well, holding that lead. And now it's all the way down this long Camel Straight for ZK in his first drive of the evening. And very nicely done, carried a lot of speed through there. And now just flicks to the right. And just absolutely flying through this iconic circuit. And running a little bit deep there, but should be able to get an improved exit. Should ZK, and Oxchillo and Campbell Adams in the meantime are exchanging places for the lead. But ZK, it's been a pretty decent lap so far. If he can hold it together, flat out through, and gets that job done nicely. And now as we head down towards the final sector, we've escaped the technical middle sector of the track, and now it's just speed and then the bus stop chicane at the end. And it's been a pretty good run here for ZK through the middle sector. He's up into P6 provisionally, now P5 as we go now. And it's just flat out foot to the floor all the way home. And it's going to be absolutely critical, this final corner. The bus stop chicane is where he's going to make or break his lap. And runs just a touch deep there. Has that impacted his lap time? And we'll see now as he crosses the line. Campbell Adams has pole. ZK into P10. Campbell Adams only just, but him and Oxchillo were far and away the leaders there. And ZK will have to settle for 10th for OCE. But Campbell Adams has his first pole of the night, actually, funnily enough.
By 6
thousandths.
Wow, that is a wow. I think that's the only word I have in my vocabulary at the moment. 6 thousandths between the top two in a lap where there's no slipstream. It's just you on the circuit. That is absolutely incredible. I'd love to see like the real life F1 ghost graphic where they're like, where you can see both of the cars in tandem, side by side with their quality laps, but we don't have that. Oh no, my F1's crashed.
Oh.
Oh no. It's just getting worse. Hold on, let's cut back to the cameras.
Might have to do the old-fashioned radio commentary from myself.
You're on the spot. You have the camera, you have the spotlight, you have the game. Oh no.
Yeah, well, I was I got kicked out of the last OFI race that we did. So
yeah, you weren't broadcasting though. It was George, wasn't it?
no, it was Zandon.
Oh, it was
Zandon.
Zandon.
But yeah, no, that was good fun. But as I said, we nearly made it to the end with the technical issues, but just didn't quite make it all the way home tonight. But the drivers will take a bit of time on the grid, so that should give us time to get things sorted once again. And it was Websy that's in P3 as well. So the OzF1 drivers once again proving their worth. And as I said, I'll run through the standings quickly once again while we've got a bit of time, if you didn't hear them previously. It's OzF1 leading the way on 157 points. And then just 5 points behind is Rapid in P2. So this final race will be massive in determining the overall standings going into next week. And could be a bit of a confidence booster either way. And then going down from there, there's a little bit of a gap following those two teams. Then it's Inters in third, and Wallaby fourth, OCE fifth, and that's kind of your midfield pack. And then languishing a little bit down the rear, it's ORL sixth, DRS 7, and VSC in eighth. So we'll see if anyone can turn things around a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see. As I'm just going to pull the game back up, but can't really tell if it's working. It seems like it, but once again the OBS is dying, so we're gonna have to use display capture. But just getting back into the session here, is the race starting yet, J-Man?
It has not started, so you've actually made very good time here.
Maybe I'm safe. Maybe I can get in before the race start. Let's see. I'll get you to take it away after all of the because of all of this.
Somehow we have avoided missing any action for the stream, which is lovely. I'm sure the video editors will be very happy with us for that.
Yep, shout out to Mikey once again. I saw him in the chat earlier. He did put together a very, very nice little preview video of last Team OFI, and maybe you might see more of his work for next OFI for Event 2 in OFI7. But I haven't missed any. We are in. Hopefully it doesn't crash again. F124 definitely giving me its best send-off, but it still has 3 races to go.
Well, these drivers' tyres will be on like 3 degrees. They've been sitting on the grid for about 5 minutes now. But anyway, here we go. We are now underway. Once again, it's Campbell Adams leading the way from Oxchillo for the final event of the evening of OFI Event 7, and we are underway. Campbell Adams, a great start there, already jumped Oxchillo, and all of a sudden, Oxchillo is going to go for it around the outside, an ambitious move, but Campbell Adams does get the better of him, and there's a lot of tight battling in that midfield. Abyss gets away from Websy into P3, and we're almost 3-1 to Eau Rouge there, but Chandler settles ahead of McJammy, who's ahead of Potato, who is not in the best position, and running wide there was Piastri Goat in the Alpine, but gets away with it, but back towards the front now. Oxchillo is going to try and make a move. move for the lead here around the outside of Campbell Adams, but he has a better run there. Now down the inside goes Abyss, and he gets through, and Websy trying to get through into the top 3, but can't quite do it. Campbell Adams somehow holds onto that lead, even with the slipstream that Oxchilo was getting, and all of a sudden Abyss is back up into P2 and looking dangerous. He was a little bit off in Qatar, but still a good result, and now Abyss fighting with the leaders once again.
Yep, and I think we're going to see that all race. Abyss does have some nice pace here, and Campbell, obviously, as well as Oxchilo having good pace around this circuit as well as they head towards the Lefania chicane. It's another opportunity to go side by side, and Chandler's is down the inside of Websy. This is a very risky place to go for a move, but he gets it done. Sails the long way round at the second part of the chicane as they make their way into campus, and now flat out through Stavilo as long as you get the foot down carefully. But will Oxchilo now try and make a move immediately back into the P2 position? He won't want to let Campbell get away. Abyss won't let that happen, but I think Oxchilo would have a little bit more peace of mind here if he's in the P2 position into the bus stop chicane. It's a good place to go for moves, and in the background, Chandler's is going for a move on Oxchilo, and he's round the outside. He's going to run out of road, but he has a good exit as well, and now they're side by side, and Websy's involved. They're 3 wide towards La Source here into turn 1, and Websy's going to back out of it, but Chandler's certainly not. He's down the inside still if Oxchilo loses out, and Websy could get alongside, but Chandler's trying to make a statement here for Wallaby, and that all the while was letting Abyss get away, but Abyss is just losing touch a bit to Campbell Adams, but DRS will be enabled, and Chandler's is not done just yet as we head down the Camel Straight. He's in the slipstream with DRS, surely ERS being used as well. Will he go down the inside of Oxchilo this time? No, he won't, but absolutely cracking stuff from the Wallaby man.
Yeah, it's a dynamite start for Chandler's there, who's already up 3 places, and the Wallaby driver's not messing around this time. His teammate Jono in P8, and they're trying to make amends for some errors that have happened in previous races, because they have the potential to be up there towards those leadership teams, but the results just haven't fallen their way. But there's plenty of time left in both this race and in the event overall, with still 3 races to go next week after this. At Campbell Adams, 5/10 is the gap to Abyss, who just isn't able to keep pace with him at this stage, as Keithy also has picked up the first 3-second penalty of this race on lap 2. So that is early warning signs for a few of the drivers. You've got to be careful with track limits. They will be very costly in this short format race. And with the race only being 11 laps as well, we will see drivers into the pits very, very early, as Chandler's once again putting the pressure on Oxchilo, and Abyss likewise on Campbell Adams, who's a lot closer than he was last time. So we'll see if the OCE driver can find his way into the lead here, as Campbell Adams sets the fastest lap on lap 2. No one able to catch him at this stage, but can Abyss do it this time? It's a great exit out of turn 1 from Campbell Adams, just absolutely flying away. He's really strong through this first sector. And as we see through Eau Rouge now, drivers coming up the hill, and Abyss just a bit too far away. He's got Oxchilo very close behind, actually, and Oxchilo could be making a move back into P2. He goes around the outside and sails through, does the rapid driver, and normal proceedings are resumed with Campbell Adams P1, Oxchilo P2.
Or as I saw a big snap in the background there, I'm not sure who it was, but they nearly ended up in the wall. I think it was one of the ORL drivers in the Sauber car, just very, very wayward on the exit of Malmedy. And I do believe it was Keithy, because he's got 1.2 seconds to Piastri Goat in front of him. So not ideal for the ORL driver. But meanwhile, up the front, Oxchilo just now in P2. We saw him overtake Abyss, and I think he knows how crucial this is for the championship. Potato potentially struggling a little bit down in P7, but still within touching distance of Websy. I think the crucial point here for Rapid is that they at least need one driver to finish ahead of one of the Oz F1 drivers, and it should pretty much stay at a stalemate if Potato finishes ahead of Websy, or Oxchilo finishes ahead of Campbell and Websy finishes ahead of Potato, or vice versa. It's just all about keeping it even Stevens here, or absolutely dominating, which is never going to happen in a grid as competitive as this OFI7 grid is. So I think it's just all going to be about trying to keep it even and equal here in this race number 3. But Potato, once again, trying a very, very aggressive undercut strategy. He's already into the pit lane with his softs. So is ZK here on lap number 4. The tyres do wear quite quickly around here. There are only about 5 cars on the medium compound tyre to start with. Everybody else was on the softs, and I think we'll see a lot more of those early pit stops. The undercut strategy will definitely be in play, and the question is, will the overcut work with how quickly these softs burn out at the end of the race?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting here as Chandler's is back up into P4. Abyss has lost quite a number of positions here in the last lap or so, down into P5, as Websy has also found his way into P3. So OzF1 doing well here. Another thing that we haven't mentioned also is that we haven't seen Rapid's third driver yet. It's been Oxchillo and Potato all the way. So they've still got a third driver to be unveiled. And obviously we did see Yusuf in the previous race for OzF1. So we'll see, they still could have a few tricks up the sleeve as we move on to next week. But as you say, they've just got to stay as close as possible because OzF1 are looking like the clear favourites in terms of their overall driver lineup. As Websy now is gaining on Oxchillo and Campbell Adams has broken the DRS. So could Campbell Adams just be able to breathe a sigh of relief for the first time this evening as he has a bit of space and open track in front and behind. And in the meantime, drivers just holding station at the moment. McJammy Dodge driving a pretty good race as well. And a lot of the drivers now into the pits as both of the OzF1 drivers do stay out. And Campbell Adams is going to do what he did in both the first two races, which is go long and back his abilities in to set a really good in-lap, which he has been able to do both times. And I reckon probably no exception here on this occasion either.
Yeah, as just a quickly, while we wait for this pit stop to kind of play out this moment here with the overcuts, undercuts, just back to Rapid and their third driver. So their third driver, definitely, I think, a bit of a party piece here in this OFI7. He was the OFI5 winner at Australia. Ryan Cox, after a bit of a break, came back to Rapid this season to end out F124, and now he's back, and he's been back with a vengeance, several wins inside of Rapid, so they decided to give him a go, see if he can try and get back-to-back wins in OFI team events.
Yeah, well, he did do it for Flashback Racing last time, who were the inaugural or last year's champions. Obviously not competing this time around, but has been in Rapid for quite a long time now. So we know how good Ryan Cox is, and that is going to be very exciting to see him in action next week. And we'll see what kind of response the OzF1 drivers will offer up to that. But at the moment, it's a consolidated 1-2 lead. But as we say, those pit stops are coming. Are they going to double stack here? Because they're both stayed out quite a bit. They're both on the medium tyres, so they might be looking to run a little bit longer with the other drivers coming from behind. But Campbell Adams obviously backs in his driving ability to get the job done, and he will continue out there on the track, as will Jono, as will Finns in the top four, still yet to pit. Actually, no, Jono and Finns have both come into the pits. So just the OzF1 drivers to go now, and they are running alone out in the lead at this stage.
Yep, they're definitely backing their ability, as you were saying before, and also the medium tyres can just go a lot longer in this race, and then they'll be on softs. We know they die really, really quickly. I do expect them to come in at the end of this lap or the end of next lap to come in, as we'll actually get the tyres up. So 5-lap old mediums for them. Everybody else except for Finns and Zandon, I believe, are pitted, and Zandon's in the pits now. So it's just these two plus one who haven't pitted, who are out the front because they started on the mediums. The overcut definitely is going to be hard to pull off. They're going to be undercut massively here, being on mediums for so long, but then they'll have the really, really, really fast soft tyres, but we know that they fall off the pace quite quickly. Campbell was able to break DRS to his main rival on the track in OFI7 of Oxchillo. He was just absolutely driving away, so we know that they die pretty quickly here around Spa-Francorchamps, and that's going to play a factor on the final lap of this race.
Absolutely, and Campbell Adams is consolidating his lead on his teammate as well, just absolutely pulling away, but it's not as quick as Oxchillo, the pace he's setting at the moment. And they're going to have to get through two Rapid drivers, Campbell Adams and Websy. So even though they will have a significant tyre advantage, we know how desperate those Rapid drivers are going to be, and they're going to do a bit of teamwork. There is a DRS train forming as well from Oxchillo down to Abyss, so they're going to have to work through that as Websy comes into the pits. Campbell Adams stays out one more lap Is that overly ambitious, or is he going to be able to keep pace with Oxchillo behind so he's not too disadvantaged? But it is a gamble to stay out that long. We'll see if it pays off in the end. But Webbsy now into the pits, and we'll see where he comes out relative to this pack, as Oxchillo now making his way to turn 1 with Chandler's just behind, who's also having a great race so far. And out comes Webbsy, and he's going to fall to the back of the train just behind Abyss. So that puts Campbell Adams approximately where Chandler's is on the track at the moment. So he's actually doing really well in terms of pace, is Campbell Adams, and this is really going to help him as Oxchillo now getting chased by the Wallaby driver as Chandler's goes around the outside and enters P2 in the race, and really making his presence felt in this race. Chandler's having an awesome outing here with a few laps left, but it's all down to what Campbell Adams is going to do here. Surely he has to come in this lap.
Yeah, surely. He can't be undercut any more than he currently is, but 17.4. It was actually less than that last lap. So I think that he's, with all this battling going on at the front end of the provisional top of the order, they're actually losing a bit of time. Campbell is just so stable out the front. He's just not blinking at all. He has incredible pace around this circuit. He's shown it off a few times in this game cycle. He just gets along with this circuit so well, and it's showing at his maximum ability at the moment. So we will look up to Campbell Adams at the moment as he surely dives into the pits. He does dive into the pits, so we'll stay with him as he does his pit stop, goes on to softs. He'll have good tyres at the end of the race. They do die quickly, but considering he's heading on to lap number 8 now, he's going to have pretty fast tyres at the end of this race. The medium runners will be sweating just a little bit because he's going to come out very close to them. The pit lane at Spa is so short that even though he came in only 17 seconds up the road, he should come out just next to them, as well as you get to cut the inside of turn 1. As here they go, Chandler's heading through turn 1. Where does Campbell Adams emerge in the grand scheme of things? He's going to be side by side with Oxchillo towards Eau Rouge. This is not a place you want to go side by side. Will one of them blink? Yes, Campbell Adams just decides, you know what? I have the better tyres. I clearly have the better pace. I'm just going to back out. And now Oxchillo's trying to get a move done on Chandler's, and surely Campbell will get involved as well here. He is going to go to the inside of Chandler's as well as in the background as well. That's 3 wide towards the Lake Com chicane. Potato in the middle of that one. Abyss on the inside. And Webbsy as well is trying the long way around. And Malmedy on Potato on the soft tyres. He's trying to put them to good work as they head down into Bruxelles. And they're still battling side by side through the double apex right-hander, and still they go wheel to wheel through No Name. This is the furthest I've seen cars go side by side down through this sector, and they're still wheel to wheel into Puon, and now Abyss fancies his opportunity up the inside of Webbsy at Potato at Puon, and gets that place. That is absolutely incredible stuff here on lap 8.
What a great little battle there we saw from the midfield. And that is going to be really crucial as well, with those points coming in handy later on in this championship battle. But we look back towards the front here. Campbell Adams chasing Oxchillo. Oxchillo in the lead, but it's looking like a bit of a done deal here already. Campbell Adams, the overtake seems inevitable as he hangs on with those brand new soft tyres to the back of the Rapid driver. It's Rapid versus OzF1 for the win here. It's been 1 to Rapid, 1 to OzF1, and this race will decide the winner of the evening. Is it going to be Oxchillo? Is it going to be Campbell Adams? Campbell Adams with the upper hand and Oxchillo with the track position. And here we go. The DRS is about to be opened very shortly as we make our way through Eau Rouge and then onto the Kemmel Straight. It's been a good run for Oxchillo, but there is a tidal wave coming behind him. Campbell Adams is absolutely flying, and he is going to take the lead for the final time this evening, you'd suspect. He flies through, and OzF1 once again takes the lead of the race. P1 and P4 for OzF1, with Rapid P2 and P6. And Campbell Adams is just going to look to leave Oxchillo in the dust and bring this one home for his league.
Yeah, and it's looking likely. He's already got 7.5 tenths. He's absolutely booking out of this race. He's really just had the overall pace here at Spa, and he had it at Qatar clearly, which we saw on the final lap. It's going to be imperative here for Oxchillo to try and hold on to the DRS range, but it's looking unlikely that he's going to be able to do so, and it's actually going to put him under pressure from the Wallaby driver of Chandler's. That's absolutely incredible stuff from Chandler's, might I add. He's definitely a dark horse in this one. I didn't expect him to be up the front, but I've been saying that about Wallaby drivers all night. I shouldn't be surprised by this point in the night that we have one Wallaby driver well up the sharp end and another one still sitting in the mid-pack getting solid points. So I think Chandler's definitely has an opportunity here to try and pick up a P2 position for the Wallaby League, and as well as Campbell Adams has broken 1 second as we head on to the penultimate lap of this race.
Absolutely sailing, and there's the fastest lap from Campbell Adams. That's about a second better than his previous effort. And yeah, Oxchillo and Chandler's very close, but with Campbell Adams looking to sail home for the win here, our focus diverts to the other battle, the Websy versus Potato, which is still Rapid versus OzF1, and just as important in the context of this championship. Because if OzF1 are getting points up the front, Rapid are going to have to try and get some a bit lower down the field. But in the meantime, it's Chandler's absolutely flying. And this would really hurt Rapid if Oxchillo were to lose this position. But Chandler stays behind. It's strategic driving potentially, because there is only one more lap after this. And you really want to be the car behind going through the Kemmel Straight because of that slipstream and DRS advantage. So a bit of a strategic game by Wallaby, wanting to get a P2 and their second podium of the night. Can they get that job done? Similarly, Potato has a car between him and Websy, and he's got his work cut out for him late on in this race. A bit lower down the field, VSC occupying the last positions once again. ORL 10th and 13th, and then DRS with MASH in 11th. ZK, his first race of the evening, not where he'd want to be, down in P12 at the moment. But our focus is up front. Oxchillo and Chandler's are battling hard. Oxchillo is going to be absolutely desperate to hang on to second place here as we go down towards the bus stop chicane. Chandler's too far back to make a move, but he's only setting up here for the final lap of this race and the final lap of the evening here, with Campbell Adams leading the way with a 2-second advantage.
Yep, and it is absolutely stellar stuff from Campbell. He's in a league of his own here in these last two races. It's been looking really close, but then Campbell, it's Max Verstappen-esque. He just gets into the lead and he sails away like no one's business. But Chandler's is now going to try and upset the Rapid party even more. If it's a Rapid 3-6, that would be really, really not good for the points deficit, with OzF1 sitting in 1 and 4. And here we go, Chandler's attacking the back of Oxchillo now with the DRS towards Lecom. Is he going to commit to it? No, he's not close enough, but he still has to run towards the bus stop. I think that was probably in his thinking. Maybe he didn't want to take the P2 in this race just yet. He knows he has time. Meanwhile as well, Potato not able to get past Abyss, but I do believe he's ahead of Websy now, so I think they double overtook the OzF1 driver, so that's definitely playing into his hand, because now Potato could try and attack for P4. That'd be a good point to make up, especially if Oxchillo loses the place to Chandler's here. We have another sector and a bit to go here in this lap as they head into Lefania chicane. Chandler's, he's really putting the pressure on Oxchillo now. He's just slamming the door shut in the Williams car, and it's the Wallaby driver chasing as fast as he can and as hard as he can. There's less than 2.5 tenths between them as they head onto the straight towards Blanchimont and the bus stop chicane. Does Chandler's have the battery compared to Oxchillo? There's several factors here, but all he knows is that he wants to try and get a P2 off of Oxchillo, and he's going to try it now. He's going to be forced a long way around. No, he's not. He's going to commit to the inside of the bus stop chicane. He clears, but he ran deep there as Campbell Adams is your race winner. And oh no, Chandler's had a massive tank slapper on the exit as well towards the line. And oh no, Chandler's lost the podium with that snap.
Yes, he has. He's down to P4. And Websy also gets past Potato, who picked up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting on the last lap. He's fallen all the way down to P9, and that is huge. I was about to say, Potato, he did finish in front of Websy, so that was good damage limitation for Rapid, but that 10-second penalty has cost a lot of points for the Rapid Racing League. And Chandler's once again, Wallaby, just a little moment. They thought they had a podium for sure there. Chandler's really wanting the P2, ran a little bit deep, and just had a little bit of a moment on the exit. And Campbell Adams, in the meantime, is just chilling, have a nice Sunday drive, and gets a almost 4-second victory. What a result for Campbell Adams. What a night for OzF1, who finished the night in the lead of this championship.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible stuff, and Campbell's just in an absolute league of his own. I have no idea who's going to be able to stop him going into night 2 next Friday, but it's going to take something special to pull it off. But here we go. Your final order for race number 3 is Campbell Adams from Oxchillo from Abyss. Your top 3. Chandler's gets P4. Websy gets P5. Jammy gets P6. Finns gets P7. Jono gets P8. Potato, after his 10-second, gets P9. A couple of drivers affected from that 10-second time penalty. It was actually because of the yellow flags that it was caused. It wasn't corner cutting. It was a legal overtake, I do believe, from overtaking under yellows. I'm not sure how warranted it was or not, but that's not for us to decide. So at the moment, just going to take it at face value. Mash gets P10. Piastri gets P11. ZK gets P12. Kesey gets P13 for RL. And then VSC round out your grid with P14 and 15. Not a good night for VSC. Just not had the pace overall. But now we'll cut back to us two here, as there are a couple of things to discuss. Obviously, the championship, that puts OzF1 out in the lead. But something we haven't discussed much all night. We haven't had the chance with everything going on. But make sure, if you haven't seen already, the bot has been putting in the code to put in hashtag OFI_NLR to enter the next level racing giveaway that we have for the FGT as per usual in an OFI event, as well as in the Discord. The OFI Discord, you can enter into a giveaway for Velocity setups. They have been wonderful to provide and partner with OFI to get 15 setups for F125, which will be very, very influential and helpful, I'm sure, going into the early phase of a game cycle as well. So it's absolutely incredible stuff for OFI, as well as there's the F125 giveaway by Slammer himself. If you go into the OFI Discord, you can go there, and if you guess the pole time for the one-shot quali correctly, or as close as you possibly can get, and you are the closest one to the pole time in Abu Dhabi at the end of night 2, you'll get a free copy of F125. But we are getting the podium sitters into the commentary box now. They're flooding in at a rate of knots, and it is Campbell, Websy, and Yusuf in here, as we also have a final constructors just quickly. So it is now a fairly big margin. It's 241 points for OzF1, and Rapid sits on 216. That's definitely overcome. That they can definitely overcome that. And Wallaby sits on 161, so a big deficit back there. As J-Man, do you want to kick off the interviews?
Yes, I would absolutely love to. And as you mentioned, OzF1 did come out on top in the end. It was a very topsy-turvy evening there. But who will we start with? We've got all the OzF1 drivers in here. We'll start with the man of the moment, Campbell Adams. Campbell with 2 race wins and a P2 on the night. You've got to be absolutely wrapped with that result. Just talk us through kind of what the team game is. Obviously, it's a really interesting format. Probably haven't done something like this before in a competitive setting. But yeah, just let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different to what I'm used to, doing 3 races back to back to back. But no, I enjoyed it. Obviously, not my best races. Obviously, Spa was a good one for me. Qatar was all right as well, but Qatar qualifying was horrible, and yeah, and validated Austria. So it definitely wasn't my best performance, but Spa was a good way to end it, even with a little bit of off-roading on my lap.
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to worry a few competitors if you weren't at your best and you're still putting up those kind of performances. But definitely the most exciting, or maybe not as exciting for you, but it was the Austria race, where you had to obviously fight through the pack down from P13. So how is that fighting through the pack for you? Obviously a little bit different compared to your other races. A lot of hard work, and you almost had it in the bag at the end there, but just got past at the last minute.
Yeah, well, the first thing I knew I was going to go long. I wanted that tire offset, and just I knew how long it took those hards to get into the right working window. So yeah, the idea was kind of just keep my nose clean for the first stint. Made a few spots. I think I was 6th or 7th. And then managed to get the undercut, and then came out like fourth or fifth. Caught the front running pack, and then the last lap battle with Ox was really good. Obviously, unfortunately, the physics of the contact model was not helpful to me, and I almost put in the wall, so I got a bit fortunate there. But no, it was really good racing.
Yeah, fantastic work. And also, just to touch on the team aspect, as obviously this is a league team event, I assume you would have been in communication with your teammates. And Oz F1, you guys are leading the way by 25 points after the first evening. Are you pleasantly surprised? Did you expect to be in the lead? And how's that teamwork going between you, Yusuf, and Websy?
We were definitely going into it hoping to come out in the lead. I think we're all pretty confident going into it. So no, the pairing of the three of us has been really good so far. Obviously, all three of us have had our slight unluckiness. But no, as a whole, it's been pretty good. Hopefully, it's better next week as well.
Yeah, fantastic stuff all throughout the night. Very consistently driven. And that's all the questions I have for you. So I hand it over to Lindsay if he has any more thoughts.
Not really. Just one question going into the next 3 races. Obviously, it's another triple back-to-back-to-back event, and it's Qatar, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. How do you feel about all 3 of those tracks?
Wait, what was the second one? Qatar.
It's Qatar,
Um,
Brazil, and Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. I'm looking forward to. Qatar, I'll probably get a pen, so I'm not really looking forward to that one. But we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. So thank you, Campbell, and congrats to you on an absolutely cracking night. And J-Man, do you want to take away the next driver of your choice?
Yeah, well, we'll move on to Websy after two out of the 3 races, I believe, the opener in Austria and that one in Belgium. Yeah, how'd you feel out there? Obviously, a bit different format. You had to have a break there in the middle, watching your Yusuf go at it in the second race. How was it? Were you able to keep your momentum through the 2 races, or was it a bit more difficult for you having a break in the middle there?
Yeah, it was tough because obviously I wasn't practicing at all between that. I was just watching the race and engineering. So yeah, I was definitely a bit cold going into quali, but I managed to hook up a decent lap and get third by a decent margin. And then going into the race, I was actually really happy with the way the strategy came out. I knew we were going to go for something different. I knew most of the grid was going to start on the softs, but yeah, to go on the mediums and then make my way through towards the end of the first stint where the softs were dropping off, I was happy with that. And then they didn't get too much of an undercut. I was at the back of that lead train, so I was trying to make my way through that, but I got caught up in a bit of a fight with Potato, which I'm sure was great viewing. But from my perspective, it was probably the worst thing that could have happened. Then unfortunately, just couldn't catch the 2 up ahead, so got stuck in a fight for P4. Then I'm not sure what happened with Potato at the end with the penalty, but yeah, I'm not sure if it's P5 or P6, but either way, I'll take it. It's a decent result, and yeah, having a lead going to the last race is always good.
Yeah, really good, 2 solid performances from both races. Were you expecting to be towards that sort of front pack there, hoping for a good result? Because you're looking very strong in terms of pace there throughout both races.
Yeah, for Austria, I was feeling decent with my pace. Then I actually got quite a lucky qualifying because it wasn't a good lap at all, but managed to start P2. And yeah, with Austria, you just need to sit in the DRS train, which is what I did for most of the race. And yeah, I was in P3 in the second last lap, and I was a bit annoyed that I couldn't get, I think it was Oxchillo, on that second last lap, and then we could have brought home a 1-2. But if that penalty does get removed, which I think it will, then it'll be P3 for me in that race. And yeah, a 2-3 for the team is a pretty good result, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of the team sort of strategy game, as you mentioned, you all 3 of you are helping each other out through all the races. With Rapid sort of coming as your main opponent pretty early on, was it was your strategy kind of focused on countering them specifically? Did you know they were going to be sort of your main threat, and how did you sort of work together to get the best result for your team?
Yeah, definitely during racing, it plays in the back of your mind that you know that they're going to most likely be the only one that you're fighting for the championship. No disrespect to the other teams, of course, you never know, but the way it's going, I'm pretty sure Rapid will be the only challenger. Yeah, so you always try to overtake them when you can and hold them up, and just to make sure that they get really the worst result possible, as you can get them to get. And yeah, it's quite obvious in the last lap in Spa. I was fighting Potato really hard, so he couldn't get the P4. So I was happy with that and managed to finish ahead of him as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, awesome effort from the whole of your team. Obviously, coming out on top. The strategy is very very unique, very with this event in particular. So yeah, very well done to come out on top. But there's still another week to go. So I wish you luck, and I'll hand over to Lindsay for any more additions.
Honestly, J-Man, you're too good at interviews. You always just leave me with one question left, and it's about it's about the next three tracks. Obviously, I'm sure with such a strong team for OzF1, you will be rotating around a little bit like we saw tonight. But just thoughts on the next three tracks: Coda, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. Any particular thoughts or feelings about those circuits?
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure I'm only doing one of those races. I'm not sure whether it's Brazil or Abu Dhabi because I'm not good at Coda at all. So it'll be one of those two. I'm not too sure yet, but either way, it definitely helps because you can focus practice on the one track rather than having to do two. Yeah, it makes it a bit easier. So hopefully I can have a good pace for that race.
Yeah, that is good to hear as well. And you guys just all work really well together. So I'm sure that no matter who's racing at what circuit, you'll manage to persevere and have a good result. So congratulations on the night, and J-Man, I'll hand it back off to you.
Yeah, well, the final member of the OzF1 team, Yusuf, only just the one race for yourself tonight, I guess. Saving for next week, but very well done to jump straight into the car and set a pole lap when everyone else had already been fresh off a race. So, how did you feel jumping into that car? Were there any sort of nerves, or were you just raring to go straight away?
Um, Definitely was feeling quite cold going into that quali session, but yeah, it was very nice to stick it on pole. Wasn't really expecting that, but yeah, really happy to get pole and that extra 2 points that come with it. The race was not very ideal on the other hand, but yeah, it really just all changed up around the pit stops, and it's what really cost a 1-2 in that race today. So, but yeah, pretty happy with it overall, and I'm quite confident because it's clear that we've got a strong team, and yeah, looking forward to next week.
Yeah, definitely. Qatar seemed to be one of the probably the trickiest out of the three races to handle. And so, how did you find that with also engineering your teammates in the other races as well? How was that sort of teamwork? Were you getting along straight away, or was there a few hiccups?
No, quite fairly easy to get along with these boys. As for Qatar, it's definitely a tricky track to warm up into, just because of how fast it is. So yeah, and it was shown how I got those few warnings quickly, and it really cost me during that race. But yeah, it's good. We'll have another go next week, and we'll practice a bit more. So yeah.
Yeah, really good work from you and your team. And Lindsay, I'll once again hand it over to you for any more thoughts.
Um, well, I mean, we'll give final thoughts in a moment, but just one more question to Yusuf, the one that you've been leaving me every time. Thank you, J-Man. I'm useless at doing
Yep.
interviews, so appreciate it. How do you feel about the next three tracks that we have for the final night?
Well, Brazil and Abu Dhabi is definitely one of my stronger tracks. I really enjoy Abu Dhabi. Of course, Kota is always a tough one to warm up into, but we've got a week to practice, and definitely we'll put some more focus into it. But yeah, I'm quite confident, and should be good.
Yeah, well, thank you for tonight. You delivered some absolutely fantastic racing along the way, so we do appreciate that here, and I'm sure the viewers back at home do as well. So thank you for that one, um, and good luck for the next night, next Friday. And now J-Man and I will wrap up proceedings, so we'll get the cameras back on. J-Man, what a night of racing it was. 3 races back to back to back. I think it was definitely difficult for the drivers. It was really, really good to watch. Really good all around. I absolutely love the format. I've always loved, those triple sprint races and GT racing when I've ever commentated over that. It was definitely something new to see it in F1 cars, though. What were your thoughts on the night as a whole?
Yeah, I think we can define it as a roaring success. I think there wasn't too many issues with the game, which is always good. And the racing was absolutely fantastic. It's really good to see drivers put into a position where they're a bit uncomfortable. They're not used to it. So I think a lot of drivers were in that position where it's not your standard just qualifying into 50% race, which we've all done. It happens in every league every week, and you can get tired of it at times. So it's good to change it up. A lot of drivers would have never done anything like this before. So credit to the brains at OFI, the brains trust who've conjured up this idea, and I think it worked really well. We got to see drivers doing some different stuff, a lot of pressure, a lot of extra pressure on them than what you'd usually might find. And obviously, the league versus league format is always something I love to see. It really gets all the leagues involved, no matter where they're from. It's an equal opportunity, and yeah, so good work all around. And I'm looking forward to seeing how it all ends up next week.
Yeah, and unfortunately next week, J-Man, you were meant to be joining me for the second night as well, but uh, life happens, so I will be joined by someone else in the commentary box. It's not 100% confirmed who is yet, but it's 90% there, but you'll find out next week. But hopefully you are able to watch along, but yeah, it was absolutely fantastic having you in the commentary box with me tonight, and I would really like to thank Slammer for bringing this all together for the both of us, for all these drivers as well. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's been a pleasure to have you alongside me in the commentary box.
Yep. Thanks, Lindsay. And also very professionally hosted from yourself, as always. The gold standard, I would say. And I think Slammer would agree with that, as I can see him in the chat. Seems pretty happy with how proceedings have gone. So thanks to everyone that tuned in as well. Plenty of viewers in tonight, which is great to see. And all the leagues getting involved as well, which is awesome. Doesn't happen without the leagues, this event. And yeah, they've done a lot of work to keep their leagues going for however long it's been. So credit to all of them, and yeah, credit to everyone that's been behind organising this event as well.
Yeah, and just one last thank you to Next Level Racing as well as Velocity Setups for helping one last element of this event come together to help reward those people who are in this region, as well as just people who are out on the track. But for J-Man and I, that is going to be all for OFI7 Night 1. I will see you next week alongside whoever's that way alongside me in their camera. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. It has been an absolute pleasure commentating the first night of OFI7. It'll all be found out, and the championship will be decided next Friday for night number 2. Good night.